Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the month of June. April showers have led to May flowers, and it's time to bloom into baseball season and summertime. My name is Rich Borland, and in just a second, I will be joined by my broadcasting partner for tonight's festivities, Mr. Jared Katz, on this Xfinity Firework Friday special. We saw a little bit of everything last night as the Beavers ended their 5-game losing streak to defeat the Unicorns in a back-and-forth game by a final of 10-8. We saw a lot of quality at-bats, but no one had a better night than Utica's Spencer Ibarra. He finished the night going 4 for 5 with a home run, a double, 2 singles, and 4 RBIs to his credit. As for the winning Beavers, Rob Poller and Jack Hranick both had big home runs and went out in a hurry. Poller hit his second home run of the season, and as for Hranick, it was just his first. Don't let the sole home run for Hranick fool you, though. This man has been on a tear to start the season. Through the first 9 games with the Beavers, he has at least 1 hit in every game. So we'll look to keep his at-bats tonight in mind. As for the Woolly Mammoths, it's Meet the Mammoths night at the ballpark. Players were out on the concourse pregame taking pictures and signing autographs for fans, and those signatures could be worth something soon as the Mammoths have won 4 straight games since starting off 0-2. On the season series, it's all knotted up at 2 games apiece. The Mammoths' only 2 losses of the season were to the Beavers to start the year. But back on Sunday's doubleheader last weekend, the Woolly Mammoths stole the spotlight over the reigning champs, taking both games by a combined score of 13-11. As we look on to tonight's pitching matchup, we will see 2 familiar faces of the USPBL. It'll be Josh Mason and Cameron McKenzie towing the rubber. On the season, Mason has pitched well. In 3 appearances, he has 2 starts under his belt with 12 2/3 innings. He has maintained a 2.13 ERA while allowing 3 earned runs on 12 hits. He has twice as many strikeouts as he does walks with a 6-3 ratio. His counterpart on the hill will be Cameron McKenzie for the Beavers. In 2018, he has started in 3 games while tossing 15 innings. He's allowed 9 earned runs on 14 hits, but has only allowed 6 walks while retiring 21 batters via the strikeout. To dive into this pitching matchup a little bit more, I'll now send it over to my broadcasting partner for tonight's game, Mr. Jared Katz. Jared, welcome.
Thanks, Rich. So, Tobin getting on the bump for the Woolly Mammoths in the first will be Josh Mason, as you mentioned. Mason has a 4-seamer, a circle change, and what he calls a cut slider, a mix of the both. And actually his go-to pitch to get guys out. So it'll be interesting to see that pitch because you don't usually see that often. And for the Beavers will be Cameron McKenzie, features a 4-seamer, curveball, changeup, and slider. And his game plan is to go batter by batter, and he'll change up how he pitches. Some he'll pitch power, fastball. Some he'll pitch the contact and try to get guys out that way. And passing over to you for the Beavers lineup.
Yeah, so the starting lineup for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, who come into today's matchup with a 4-5 record, losers of the last 5 before last night's meeting with the Unicorns. Start off with the right fielder, number 20, Ryan Smith. Batting second, the second baseman, number 8, Rob Poller. Batting third, the first baseman, number 25, Jack Hranick, who looks to get his hit streak up to 10 games straight to begin the season. Batting in the cleanup spot, the third baseman, number 18, Christian Helsel. Batting fifth, the DH, number 23, Adam Gauthier. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 11, Skylar Mercado. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 9, Hunter Wood. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 15, James Batley. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 5, Daniel Oliveri. And then it looks like we got a little bit of time here before we get to the national anthem, and we'll run you the defense for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. In the outfield, it'll be from left to right, 18, Tommy Fiesel, number 19, Drew Kitson, who made that top 10 play on SportsCenter last weekend. In the right field spot, number 12, Ethan Whisker, and then from left to right in the infield, at third base, number 1, David Kimbrough II. At shortstop, number 3, Jordan Thomas. At second base, number 2, the previous USPBL hitter of the week, Mr. Jalen Lawson. And then over at first base, number 22, Brandon Cuddy. The man behind the dish today, part of the battery, alongside Josh Mason, will be Jake Barbie. And one more time, the numbers on the season for Josh Mason. He's 2-0 with a 2.13 ERA in 2 starts, 3 appearances. He's got 12 2/3 inning under his belt with 12 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 1.18 whip. And I'm excited to see this pitching matchup we have on tap here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good pitching matchup. These guys have both proven themselves in the USPBL this year, so it should be a good matchup. And looking for what both these guys have tonight.
So these two teams in the 5th matchup of the season. Not only is it Xfinity Firework Friday, but it's Oakland University night at the ballpark. Grizz down on the field out there with, I believe, the Oakland Choir, and they will be singing our national anthem as we're getting the Westside Woolly Mammoths starting lineups on the field underway.
And for those Woolly Mammoths, batting first, playing left field is Tommy Fiesel. Batting second, playing center field is Drew Kitson. Batting third, playing first base, Brandon Cuddy. Batting fourth, DH, Tyler Pagano. Batting fifth, and playing right field, Ethan Whisker. Batting sixth and playing second, Jalen Lawson. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, Jordan Thomas. Batting eighth and playing catcher is Jake Barbie. Batting ninth and playing third base is David Kimbrough. And again, the starting pitcher for the Woolly Mammoths is Josh Mason.
So Mason on the season 2-0, McKenzie on the year 0-1. Both guys have proved that they have this stuff. Mason's line completely is really impressive. McKenzie with that 0-1 record and the 5.40 ERA doesn't really show you what he's capable of. The stat that you really want to look at is the 21 strikeouts to just 6 walks. That has really been the difference this year for McKenzie. And in his first start with the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in this 2018 season, it was against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers back on May the 13th, where he went 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs on just 3 hits, had just 1 walk to 12 strikeouts. And then in his last start back on May the 27th, just a few days ago, he was actually in the losing effort. It was against these Westside Woolly Mammoths on the 27th, where he allowed 5 earned runs on 5 hits in 4 innings pitched. He allowed 2 walks, did have 7 strikeouts to his credit against the 18 batters that he faced. But overall, McKenzie trying to get his first win on the year, and what a better time to do it than to keep your team on a little bit of a good streak. As we mentioned, the Beavers winners of last night's game against the Unicorns by a final of 10-8, but going into that game, they were 0-5 in their last 5, and then for the Woolly Mammoths, they've won their last 4 here in this 2018 season, and it's a battle of the wits here between these two groups, and it looks like we're just about ready for the national anthem to get underway. So when we come back, we will have first pitch here from Jimmy John's Field on this 1st of June here in Utica, Michigan. Once again, Rich Borland and Jared Katz here with you. And we'll be right back with the first pitch when we come back. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel.
Virginia Beach, Virginia, number 14, Josh Mason with Benjamin Traxel and Lincoln Zahner. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by the Oakland University's Gold Vibration.
talk about starting a baseball game off with a bang. It is June the 1st here in this 2018 calendar year. The USPBL in its third season, in its fourth weekend here in this 2018 season. Jared Katz alongside Rich Borland here with you for this gorgeous night of baseball ahead. We got the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths, both teams in the Western Division here of this United Shore Professional Baseball League. Beavers coming into this game at 4-5. Woolly Mammoths coming into this one 4-2. And so far on this season, the Beavers, of course, the reigning champs from last year, the Woolly Mammoths, the team that lost to them, the rematch of this 2017 USPBL championship. It'll be Josh Mason for the Westside Woolly Mammoths and Cameron McKenzie of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. The man on the bump getting loose right now out of Temple University and Chesapeake, Virginia native, out up there at 6'1", 205 pounds in this 2018 season. Josh Mason pitching in his third start, fourth appearance for the Mammoths. He's got a 2-0 record in 12 2/3 innings. He's allowed 12 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts with a 2.13 ERA. And we talked a little bit about what he's got to deliver, but in case anybody had joined a little late here, Jared, how about you tell him a little bit of the repertoire that we'll see coming out of the right-hander?
Yeah, for Mr. Mason, he's got a four-seamer, circle change, and a cut slider, a mixture between a cut and a slider. But what really is interesting to me is his delivery, his windup, actually. If you watch the majors, you got those Japanese pitchers, Tanaka, Shohei Ohtani, just pitched against Tigers a few days ago. But he's got the hesitation, and that could really mess with the hitter's timing. But also I'm looking for is if the Beavers can build up last night, 10 runs. They needed that win, especially they were down 5-0 after 3. So that was a big comeback for the Beavers last night, and it'll be interesting to see if they can build on that to get back to 500.
So it'll be Ryan Smith to begin things off for the Beavers. First pitch, 7:09 p.m. It is 73 degrees here in Utica. Ryan Smith, the starting outfielder, he's in right field here today. Last night, had a single in his last at-bat, an RBI single, in fact, but was 0 for 4 going into his last plate appearance. So he ends the night on a good note. We'll see if he can carry it into today. Home plate umpire is Stuart Hall. First base umpire is Jim Mueller. Ryan Smith, meanwhile, has worked the count in his favor, 2-1. Mason kicks, deals, delivers. Fastball right down Broadway, fouled off and into the protective netting. Ryan Smith, in this season series against the Westside Woolly Mammoths pitching staff, he's 6 of 14. He's got a home run under his belt. He's got 3 runs scored. He's got 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and also has driven in a run here in these first 4 games. The man out of Brentwood, California. He's worked the count full as he looks at ball 3. Mason back out on the bump, kicks, deals, fastball outside corner. Ryan Smith thought he had ball 4, but home plate umpire thinks otherwise, and Mason gets 1 up, 1 down via the look.
Nice there for Mason, but there's a couple pitches before where it seemed like that was the same pitch down the middle. He called the ball. So if I'm Ryan Smith, I'm not very happy right now, but it's only the first inning, and you'll get more chances. But what you mentioned about his stats, definitely a mammoth killer, huh? All those 6 for 14, I think you said. So he's got their number this year, except right there, I guess.
You can't be perfect all the time, but Mr. Smith with a good start to his season. And now he gives way to Rob Pauler, who had a home run in last night's baseball game against the Unicorns. Pauler last night with a 2 for 4 night, the home run that drove in 2 runs, had a double as well. Had a walk and a run scored in the 5th inning. Flew out to right field once and struck out once as well. But on the season against these Westside Woolly Mammoths, Pauler 3 of 14, does have a home run. And he swings and misses at the 1-1 offer. Looked to be the curveball out of the right hand of Mason. Nice pitch right there to fool Pauler. He swung right through that one, and now he's down to his final strike here.
Yeah, it looked like Pauler wanted to repeat last night, his home run over the hill and right. That was a bomb last night, so maybe he's still got that in his mind and trying to do it again.
Pauler thought about the 1-2 offer, but holds back in time. Brings the count even to 2-2. But, yeah, you're definitely right. That home run he hit last night was quite a shot. The 2-2 pitch, meanwhile, changeup, that circle change that Mason likes to go to a lot. Pollard did a good job there to hold off.
Yeah, both these hitters getting to the 3-2 count. It's good to get Mason's pitch count up if you're the Beavers. So nice job by the first two hitters.
Yeah, both guys working the count full against Mason, but he almost won that battle as well. But Pollard gets just enough of it to stay alive in the count, at least for one more pitch. Sun beaming down on the ball diamond. It's actually covered in shade from the grandstand cover, kind of in a diamond formation. It covers a little bit of the area in between home plate and pitcher's mound. Home plate's completely covered by shade, but pretty much everything else is covered by the sun. And covering that baseball and putting it down in the right field corner is Pollard. Looks like he's going to have a stand-up double. He's going in there, and he indeed will come in standing up. The one-out double for Pollard gives the Beavers some action here in this top of the first. And now there's more trouble brewing as Mr. Jack Hranick stands in. What can we not say about him? The man that leads this team with a .387 batting average, 12 hits. He got 12 hits in 9 games, Jared.
Unbelievable. Especially, and last night he had that another home run on the comeback for the Beavers to help them get back in that game. But 9-game hitting streak, I think you mentioned earlier. So just hitting the ball to all fields right now.
He has been impossible to slow down, and whether he hits it out of the park or dribbles one past an infielder, he continues to do damage up at the plate. And look at that. Routine ground ball finds a hole into right field. Rob Pollard hustles his way in to score, and just like that, the Beavers take the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he's on a roll right now. Anything he hits finds a hole. Looked like the ball had eyes. Anything he hits on the ground will find a hole right now with that hitting streak. And like I said, Beavers right away, 2 hits and a run in the first 3 batters of the game. So right back where they ended last night.
Hranick coming into today's game against the Mammoths, he's been 6 of 14 with an RBI, just 2 strikeouts, a double, and 2 runs scored. But tell you what, we got our early candidate for hitter of the weekend here in this 4th weekend of the 2018 USPBL season. Christian Helsel, meanwhile, standing in, looks at a called strike, fastball outside corner, quickly down in the count here, 0-1. Helsel, 1 for 9 in this series against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Looks at a fastball that misses the zone, evens the count up at 1-1. But in his time in the 4 games against these Woolly Mammoths, he's got 2 runs scored, a stolen base to his credit. He's also driven into himself, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, so 2s across the board for Mr. Helsel. And on the 1-1 pitch, time was called by the home plate umpire, Mr. Stuart Hall. Did not look to be a foul ball, but it looked as if the ball in the dirt, maybe the catcher asked for time right away to get a new baseball, and that's what I believe just happened right there. So the count is, in fact, 1-2 on Helsel, so maybe it was a foul ball. As the breaking ball swung on and missed, that's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Mason. But with the 2 hits in between that, have given the Beavers the 1-0 lead. And now Adam Gauthier stands in.
Yeah, I guess it was a foul ball that pitched before. They had on the board 1-2. I was confused too. The umpire held his hands up, but I guess he fouled it off and then got that swing and miss there.
Gauthier on the first pitch he sees hit something foul, but it looks like it'll be playable. And look at that. The man at first base, Brandon Cuddy, coming up with the baseball in foul territory. That retires Gauthier on just 1 pitch. We're through a half an inning. Beavers get that run they need to start this one off on the right foot. They lead it 1-0 as we head to the home half of the first. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Jared Katz here with you. Cameron McKenzie getting ready for his first inning of work, and he's had a good season thus far. He does have an 0-1 record, but we talked about those 21 strikeouts to just 6 walks. Look for plenty more here in tonight's contest. And before we get into the action, let's hear a little bit more background on the man on the bump.
Yeah, McKenzie has a four-seamer, curveball, changeup, slider. His game plan is to go batter by batter, attack differently, whether that's power them with his fastball that can get up there, or pitch to contact with his other pitches. He'll change it up during the game, so should be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, he was actually up here in the press box a couple hours before the game with a couple other of the guys just talking, and as I say that, a high fly ball out to right field. Ryan Smith shading the sun out of his eyes with the with the glove. And Fiesel quickly on one pitch is retired. He likes to swing early and often. And coming into this ball game against the Beavers in this season series through 4 games, Fiesel 3 of 16 with just a walk, a run scored, 5 strikeouts though. And he was caught stealing just a game ago. And now Drew Kitson stands in here against McKenzie. Kitson, of course, the biggest story of the 2018 USPBL season so far. He made that first initial top 10 play on SportsCenter where he robbed the man of the hour last night of the Unicorns, Mr. Spencer Ibarra, of a home run in dead center field. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'd be shocked. As McKenzie working quick here. Count quickly 2-0 against Kitson. Kitson looks at a pair for the count to go in his favor. Kitson in the season series, 3 of 13 against these Beavers. He's walked 4 times. He struck out 4 times. Does have a stolen base, 2 doubles and 2 runs scored. Does have 1 RBI against these Beavers. Line shot right into that lip of the outfield grass. And that'll be a 1-out single for the Woolly Mammoths. Drew Kitson doing well with the lumber.
Nice piece of hitting there for Kitson. Batting 150, you know he's itching to get on base, and it was a good piece of hitting. Just get the ball, wood on the ball, and he lined it to right left field.
Yeah, he's shown his glove time and time again and his speed out there in the outfield, but definitely like to see that out of Drew Kitson, putting the bat on the ball and having good hard contact. And now you got to think he's on the base pass. He turns into an automatic base stealing threat.
Yeah, you might want to try a hit and run, but I don't know, with Cuddy batting 105 with only 1 RBI, I don't know if that's the best option for the Woolly Mammoths, but they might try to put Kitson in motion.
Ground ball, look at that. We might get a double play, and in fact we will. A line shot right to the second baseman, Rob Poller. Kitson was too far off the bag to get back in time, and that's just a little bit of unluckiness right there if you're the Woolly Mammoths. 2 really hard hit balls between Kitson and Cuddy, and unfortunately they both get retired with 1 swing of the bat. We've gone through the first inning. Beavers out in front by a score of 1-0. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's USPBL YouTube broadcast. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz here for tonight's baseball game. It'll be Skylar Mercado, Hunter Wood, and James Batley due up for the Beavers to start this top of the second inning. If you're just joining us, Beavers got a run in the top of the first with a one-out double from Rob Pauler and then an RBI single from the man who's got now a 10-game hitting streak for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Jack Rannick. Hit a hard ground ball right where he needed to. Found a hole on the right side of the infield into right field and drove in the run. Meanwhile, hard ground ball ricochets off the mound and right into the glove of Jordan Thomas over there at shortstop. He finishes the play off to record the 6-3 putout. And one up, one down here for the Beavers to start the second.
Yeah, after giving up a run last inning, Mason wants to get out of this inning 1-2-3 and get his guys a chance to go back in the dugout and tie this game up. So good start to the inning there, getting the easy ground ball.
It's been a nice, controlled, quick game thus far. Players are making their plays.
Don't say that. You know what happens.
I got faith.
Okay.
Got to keep it. Just like your Celtics had until Game 7.
Yep.
This one, meanwhile, Hunter Wood lifting it, and you can't forget about it. Catch by the fan on the hill out there in right, and Hunter Wood with his first home run of the 2018 USPBL season. I chose him as the pick the stick winner last night, and he actually had won for me over Dominic, who was calling the game with me last night. And Hunter Wood, right where he had left off, he had a double and two singles in last night's ball game with 2 RBIs to his credit. And he continues right where he had left off from last night, leaves the yard here in this second inning, and the Beavers with 1 run in every inning so far.
Well, congrats to him on his first home run in the USPBL this season. That ball probably looks like a beach ball to him coming there. 3 hits last night. First at bat tonight, home run way over on the hill over there in right field.
Meanwhile, James Batley tried to get a bunt down the third baseline, but it can only go right back to the pitcher. It's the last spot you want to put it if you're trying to get a base knock on a bunt. And instead of getting an infield single, Mr. Batley is retired for out number 2.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea. Batley is very fast, and maybe he could catch the defense off guard a little bit. But he bunted it right back to the pitcher, so no chance there. But it's okay. It's not the best idea, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, with Batley's speed, if he put a bunt down either foul line, he would have a good chance. But as baseball players are told from the beginnings of time in Little League, if you're going to bunt, last place you put it is right back up the middle. And that ball got to Mason in a hurry and really retired Batley fairly quickly. Meanwhile, Daniel Oliveri stands in here now. He's 2 of 12 so far in this series in 2018 against the Woolly Mammoths. Looks at 3 straight balls to begin this at-bat, but on the year in those 12 at-bats, he's got 2 RBIs, a double, a walk, and 2 strikeouts against the Westside Woolly Mammoths here in 2018 as the 3-0 pitch, fastball inside. Looked close, but home plate umpire says it was in there, so the count staying alive here for Mason, trying to get another quick inning under his belt. He has allowed the 2 runs, but he's been working quickly. He's been throwing strikes. He's doing pretty much everything he can. He just kind of left that one over the plate to Hunter Wood, and he took full advantage of it. But on this payoff pitch, this one's hit out to right field. Looks like it'll stay in the park for Whisker, and in fact it will. It finds the glove for the third and final out, but not before Hunter Wood gives the Beavers the 2-0 lead. We head to the home half of the second. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, right into the action. Tyler Pagano to start off this home half of the second inning, and before we can even get back onto the air, he's cruising around first and headed into second base with the lead-off double. Second hit of the night for the Mammoths, but that one was a shot down that left field line.
Pagano, quick swinging. We weren't even back yet, and right into the action there. But these guys are attacking McKenzie early, trying to get back in this game.
Yeah, not the start you would like if you're Cam McKenzie to begin this home half of the seventh. Your offense gets you a run in each of the first two frames, and now you're going to try and work your way through this early jam. The breaking ball to begin Whisker off with the at-bat. Missed low. Looked good for him up here, but must have dropped just below the strike zone. Whisker on the season against these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. He is 4 of 13 through the first 4 games. He's got 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and a walk to his credit. Whisker on this season, a .350 average. Does have 1 home run, but if he can take this 1 yard, he'll tie this one up, but not if McKenzie has anything to say about it. McKenzie kicks, deals, ground ball back up the middle, almost got a piece of him, and it honestly might have. It goes right back up the middle into center field, and a little bit late for a play at the plate, but you like the toss from Batley, pretty much right on the line, just not in time as Pagano comes in to score, and back-to-back base knocks for the Mammoths put them on the board here. It's 2-1.
Yeah, I don't know if it hit McKenzie, but it looked like when it hit the dirt. You know, it's been wet here earlier. It looked like it took a weird bounce. I don't know for sure what happened, but it looked. I don't know if it hit him because the ball didn't change directions. But good hitting for Whisker there. You know, with 2-0 count, and he's batting .330, I think it was. So he's feeling it up there.
And now the reigning USPBL hitter of the week, Mr. Jalen Lawson, on the season against these Beavers. He's 2 for 9, had a massive grand slam that was almost over the scoreboard a couple of games ago as this one gets in the dirt, but Hunter Wood keeps his wits about him and keeps that one in front of him, so Whisker has nowhere to go. But Lawson has been really impressive at the dish here this season. He leads the team with RBIs, 10 of them, and 2 home runs. He had a grand slam, of course, like we mentioned, and he also had a 3-run homer in back-to-back games. And the 2-0 pitch, called strike, brings the count to 2-1.
Yeah, McKenzie keeps getting behind these guys that are batting .300 or better. It's not something he want to do. It's not a good recipe for success. So he's got to get back in the count here.
Yeah, when it comes to Jalen Lawson, as he takes a really good eye there, as that one missed just low, brings the count to 3-1. He's played in 6 games with the Mammoths here in 2018. He's got 13 at-bats, 4 hits, so half of his hits, home runs. He's really a power-type guy. If he doesn't make, or if he makes contact, it'll go far, but if he doesn't, it won't do much. And look at that, 3-1 pitch, sits on it, allows it to travel into the zone, and he takes it into that right field area on a ground ball, and a couple of base knocks have the Woolly Mammoths in motion here as Pagano had that line shot down the left field line that started this one off, and then back-to-back singles from Whisker and Lawson have runners on first and second, and now manager of these Beavers, Mr. Chris Newell, out there to talk with his ace on the bump, and clearly things not going exactly as Chris Newell and Cameron McKenzie had in mind, but a word of advice, encouragement.
Yeah, four straight hard hit balls, and with a 2-0 lead, it's not what McKenzie wanted to do here. But as for Lawson, you know, he's one of those guys like Hranek. Anything he hits right now finds a hole. Even that pitch, he hit it hard to the opposite field, found a hole between first and second. But you know, some of those other guys are snake bitten. We're talking about Kitson, those kind of guys that hit hard balls right at people, but guys like Hranek and Jalen Lawson are just feeling it right now. Everything they hit, it seems to work that way. It finds a hole no matter how hard you hit it or where you hit it.
So now Jordan Thomas standing in. He's the 1-800-Hanson's player of the game. If he gets a base hit at any point here tonight, a lucky fan will get a prize through our sponsor 1-800-Hanson's. And Thomas looks at back-to-back breaking balls, and on both of those pitches, you know, there was some bend, there was some break to it, but give credit to Hunter Wood. He framed both of those pitches up fairly well, and I think that had a lot to do with the reason that McKenzie's ahead in this count here 0-2 early.
Yeah, and when you're hitting 174, you always find yourself in an 0-2 count. It's funny how that seems to happen, like in majors too. All these guys that can't get a hit, there always seems to get down 0-2 because you're not confident in taking pitches either. But coming back, took one high there, so maybe he can raise that average up a little bit.
It's a game of failure for sure, and when you do succeed, that's what makes this game so special. Thomas will have to try and stay alive in this count down here 1-2. He's 3 of 14 in this season series against the Beavers through the first 4 games. A double, a walk, a stolen base, but 5 strikeouts he does have. And there's strikeout number 6 for Mr. Thomas against the Beavers this year. He's recorded out number 1. And now he gives way to Jake Barbie, the, I guess we can say, backup catcher here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Of course, overall throughout the season, the starting catcher for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, you know, he's had his time, but for the most part, it has been Jackson Smith, the man out of Salem, Oregon. But an opportunity, or excuse me, not Mr. Jackson Smith, I apologize. That is, yes, it was, my apologies. Mr. Jackson Smith, the everyday starting catcher. Barbie getting an opportunity here, though, batting just 143 on the season in his time that he has had at the plate.
But yeah, it always seems when you don't play every day, you get in there right away, first and second, 1 out, or bases loaded sometimes. But it seems to always find you, the RBI opportunities. But going to that last strikeout, that was a great pitch. I think that was a curveball from McKenzie, and to get it, he had no chance at that pitch. He was off his front foot.
So Barbie swings and fouls off the 1-0 offer. Evens this count up at 1-1. Barbie in the season series just 1 of 7 against the Beavers. Does have 3 RBIs to his credit when he brought in 3 with 1 swing of the bat. That was just a few short weeks ago. But he's got an opportunity here with a couple of runners on, 1 out on the board. And McKenzie trying to get out of this jam. If he can get a ground ball, he might be able to get 2. Instead, breaking ball in the dirt. Another good stop there from Hunter Wood, who continues to work here tonight. Does a good job to keep the runners at bay.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that McKenzie's going with that off speed. He told us before the game that he's going to switch between pitching to power and to contact. And against a guy who doesn't play every day, I don't know how much live pitching in batting practice, but how much live pitching he faces. So it's probably been a couple of days. So I would probably, if I were McKenzie, go at him with a fastball, see if he can catch up to it. But apparently went with the off speed there.
McKenzie with the 2-1. That one misses high and away, and you can tell it's not the same McKenzie we saw in that first start of the season where he had the 12 Ks. And I don't know what's going on mentally with him up there, but he's not as sharp as he was in that first initial debut in 2018 where he had struck out 8 of the first 9 guys he faced and then 12 in total in that start. Guys are starting to get more familiar with Mr. McKenzie, and you see right there a line drive out to center field. Mr. James Batley makes the catch, tries to double off Whisker at second base. He cannot, as Barbie is retired for out number 2. So 3 hits in a row to begin this top of the second inning, and then a strikeout and a flyout retired the next 2. Keeps the runners where they are at. Nice job of Batley to run down that baseball to make the catch, and now David Kimbrough II stands in.
Yeah, great play by Batley. Almost got that double play at second. But if you're Barbie, that's wasted opportunity. 3-1 pitch. You got to look for your pitch there and get these runs in. But good play by Batley in center. Got that speed to get over quickly and cover a lot of ground. Reminds me of Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox and
of course,
Kevin Pillar, the Blue Jays, guys like that. Great fielders.
Kimbrough, meanwhile, on the first pitch he sees, swings and misses right through in the first offer he sees on the night out of the right hand of Cameron McKenzie. Kimbrough on the season series just 1 of 11 against these Beavers. Does have 3 walks to his credit and a run scored, but has struck out 4 times. And throughout the season, he's got just a below 100 batting average, but he might find a hole here. This one's going to drop. Right fielder Ryan Smith could not get to it in time. Coming in to possibly score is Whisker. He beats the throw, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths tie this one up at 2. Runners now at second and third, and McKenzie in a world of trouble.
Yeah, lucky hit there. He was batting .056 and makes weak contact and somehow couldn't have dropped it any better, but right over the first baseman's head for game-tying run there.
Yeah, it's not always pretty, but
get the job done.
You
know?
can get the job done. Coach, doesn't matter how you do it. And just like that, the Mammoths put up 2 in the home half of the second here to tie this one up, and they're not done yet.
Nope, top of the order. Get these 2 guys 1 base hit, scores 2 here.
Lawson on third, he singled. And then David Kimbrough with that RBI double that drives in Whisker. But like you said, back to this top of the West Side Woolly Mammoth batting lineup. Fiesel on the night 0 for 1 with a flyout to right field. But a big opportunity here with a couple of Mammoths in scoring position. Breaking ball, you saw Hunter Wood right there try and frame it up, but home plate umpire says, good try.
Yeah, I don't know, a lot of these pitches look good from up here, but again, he's got the better view.
Kenzie on the 1-1 pitch, missing. Infield, outfield at normal depth. Crowd starting to fill in here at Jimmy John's Field. The 2-1 pitch hit to the left side of the infield. Skylar Mercado over to first. Just in the nick of time to retire Tommy Fiesel. Pleads his case with the first base umpire. If he, of course, got to first base, he would have been able to drive in a run, but he is, in fact, retired for the third and final out. But not before the Mammoths can get 2 runs in the home half of the third, or home half of the second, I should say. As we head to the third, you're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz for your broadcasting purposes here tonight. It is the 1st of June as we turn the calendar month over and out of the month of May. Day by day, it feels more and more like summer is actually here. And we did have a little rain a couple hours before the game, but grounds crew did a really nice job to get this field maintained and ready for action in this ball game tonight. Ryan Smith back to the top of the Birmingham Bloomfield order we go to begin this third inning. Looks at a ball to start off his second at-bat of the night. Went down on a strikeout looking against Mason in the first on a 2-2 pitch. And he's worked the count here in his favor already, 2-0.
Yeah, credit to the grounds crew. If you told me 3 hours ago that the field looked like this, I would have told you were lying. So they did a really good job to get the field back up to shape here after there was a few puddles in the dirt earlier on.
Smith on the 2-1 pitch. He's out in front, rolls one over to the left side. Not an easy play for David Kimbrough the second, but he shows off his arm strength to retire the leadoff batter via the 5-3 putout. One up, one down for the Beavers here in this top half of the third. Now Rob Pauler stands in, already 1 for 1 on the night with a double and a run scored.
Yeah, tough play by Kimbrough there. As I've said before on previous broadcasts, the grass here eats the balls when it hits ground balls, so the ball stops. So it's a hard play, and it's a long throw from third, and he got him out by a few steps, so it was a good play.
Yeah, I believe they did cut the grass, not today, but since the last time that you and I have called the game. It was definitely thicker the last time I remember, but it is somewhat controlled here today. It looks a little bit thinner than it normally does. Not sure if they cut it today or if they did before the game last night. As this 0-1 pitch is hit high into center field, Drew Kitson won't be making a top 10 play on SportsCenter, but he will range underneath that one for out number 2. You heard a couple of fans as that ball was hit in the air get ready for something special, but a routine flyout retires Pauler for out number 2, and that'll bring up the man of the weekend so far, and the man, honestly, of the 2018 season so far, Jack Hranick, who, like we mentioned, if you haven't heard yet, a hit in every single game so far this season, and he's got an RBI single under his belt already tonight.
Yeah, you wonder if the fans saw the play from Kitson on SportsCenter, seeing him going back, got excited, but I think he wanted to make another play, but the ball was too short.
In due time, Mr. Katz, in due time. And meanwhile, hitting a ball over to the left side of the infield is Hranick. He doesn't have a ton of speed going down that line. Jordan Thomas, the shortstop, bobbled it to start, but ends up rifling one over to first base for the third and final out. We head to the home half of the third. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're through 2.5 innings between the Beavers and the Mammoths. It'll be Drew Kitson, Brandon Cuddy, and Tyler Pagano start off this home half of the third. Kitson on the night, singled in his first plate appearance. We mentioned coming into play tonight, just a 150 average, and already getting that one up here with the base knock tonight. Kitson known for the glove, but trying to turn the season around at the plate. Fouls off that 1-0 offer and to the netting in between us and home plate, and evens the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, when you're batting 150, Rich, it's nice to see your name up there with a 1-for-1 in the day. Trying to go for 2-for-2, just slowly bring that average up a little bit. We know what he can do defensively, but I think he's a better hitter than the stats show.
I agree completely with that. It's not an easy game. Sometimes the success takes time, and I mean, we've seen it out there in center field from Kitson, but just waiting for him to spark here at the plate. He's been batting in this 2-hole for the Mammoths all season long as that breaking ball misses low. Really nice eye there from Kitson to even this count up at 2-2. And look at that pitch right there. Kitson can't believe it. Called strike, outer half. And payoff pitch will ensue. It's full. Base is empty. And Cameron McKenzie ready to go up on the mound. Gets his sign from his catcher, Hunter Wood. Kicks, delivers, fastball in the dirt, and Kitson reaches base safely for the second consecutive time. The one-out walk give the Mammoths their first base runner of the inning.
Nice at bat there from Kitson. I think he was down 1-2 and fought back. But that pitch before that last ball, it looked like it almost hit his jersey. It was called a strike. It was a little strange. I don't know what the umpire was looking at there, but it looked like it grazed the jersey from up here. But Kitson able to draw the walk.
So a leadoff walk, it's never good. And got to imagine Chris Newell understands that more than most. Cuddy, meanwhile, standing in 0-for-1 on the night. He had that line out over to Rob Pollard at second base that retired him and Kitson as a part of the 4-3 double play. Could you imagine if we saw it again here?
It wouldn't surprise me the way Cuddy is hitting. Surprising that the William Mammoths have their second and third hitter both 150 and 105 respectively. You don't never see that. But I guess the coach has trust in these guys. They'll turn it around, and if he's still betting third, then there's obviously potential.
And, I mean, the Mammoths, winners of their last four, after starting out the season 0-2, they've really turned it around. So, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's really had Fiesel, Kitson, Cuddy, Pagano, Whisker, Lawson, Thomas in the first 7 slots, and then Kimbrough in the 9-hole. And he's really just switching Barbie as well as, oh, and look at this. Mental error turns into a throwing one for Cameron McKenzie. Drew Kitson gets into second base. It could have been 2, but the error thrown there by McKenzie allow runners to reach first and second with ease. Cuddy gets over to first base on the what would have been fielder's choice, but that error proves costly, at least for now. Could have had 2 outs just like that with the ground ball back up the middle, but instead, Mr. McKenzie's mistake could prove costly here. Still no outs on the board as that breaking ball to Tyler Pagano misses very high out of the zone. And Pagano, who led off the second inning with that double down the left field line, got to be ready if you're Helsel over there at third base.
Yeah, huge mistake by the pitcher, McKenzie there. Had so much time, I think he just rushed to start a second. And sometimes that happens as a pitcher. You kind of panic a little bit because you're not used to throwing to the bases that much. And now catcher's going up there to calm him down because one hit here in a gap, they could score 2 runs and get the 4-2 lead rather than it would have been a double play with nobody on now. So that's a big swing. We'll see if that affects them for the rest of the game here.
Yeah, Pagano with a really big opportunity to break this tie in two. He's got the count in his favor, 1-0, but Hunter Wood hoping to calm his pitcher, Cameron McKenzie, down. We'll see if it worked, and it did not. That 1-0 fastball looked good, just off the plate a hair, and because of it, Pagano has worked the count in his favor, 2-0.
Yeah, usually when the catcher goes out to the pitcher or manager goes out, the batter swings always because they know that he'll throw a strike. Because the coach just came out, you don't want to disappoint him. So, interesting take by Pagano, but still ball.
A really keen eye up there at the plate, and on the 2-0 pitch, that one ricochets off of the brick wall and comes right back to McKenzie, but he'll get a new baseball. Fun little fact, as we have our diamond tables right behind the home plate area, they're actually closer to home plate than the pitcher's mound is. You don't really see that in Major League Baseball whatsoever. Just another cool little fact here about the seating arrangement of Jimmy John's Field.
Yeah, a lot of good seating here. There's so many different views you can get from sitting in the suites in the dugout, the coach manager suite, to the diamond tables. So pretty cool views you can have here for sure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of options. And if you're interested in buying tickets, feel free to give us a call, 248-601-2400. Be happy to take your call and happy to have you at the ballpark. McKenzie, meanwhile, in the no-out jam, trying to retire Pagano for the first time tonight. Fastball in the strike zone, fouled off and out of play. Looks like it'll reach Auburn Road just behind us here.
Yeah, car is in danger over there. It's a good thing they make us park at Epler. My car is fine. I safe to assume no balls are going to go to Epler. So
yeah, I believe there was one windshield broken. So throughout this season, I believe it was our box office coordinator,
Wow.
Mr. Brian Piper, but that all got taken care of, and the count now still 2-2 on Pagano. Breaking ball. I don't know how Pagano holds off on that pitch. It started right in the zone and swept right underneath it as it crossed home plate, but Pagano, a really nice eye there, allows the count to ring full, and there's still no outs on the board. The runners most likely will not be going anywhere. The kick, the push. This one hit on a line out to center field. James Batley won't have to move much, but he comes underneath it to make the catch for the first out. Pagano retired via the fly out to center field, but Kitson doing a good job as a base runner. Tags up and gets to third base. Cuddy remains at first. So runners now on the corners here with one out. Beavers could still get out of this jam unscathed if they can get a double play in order, but it'll be pretty tough to retire Whisker if he gets down that line pretty quickly. He's already 1 for 1 on the night with the RBI single and a run scored. So not only did he drive in the first run of the game for the Mammoths, but he came in to score the second. Drove in Pagano after that double in the second, and then came in to score on the double from Kimbrough.
another chance here for the Beavers to turn that double play. But for McKenzie, I don't think he wants the ball hit to him again after what happened last time. It might still be in his head a little bit. So trying to get that ground ball to one of his infielders for a double play. But Whisker batting .350, it's going to be hard, especially with the speed as well.
This ball hit down that third baseline. It'll be tough to get to, but will they do it? Oh, not a chance at first. The ball in the dirt gets past Jack Hranick, and the base runner comes in to score. That's Kitson from third. Brandon Cuddy is retired at second base for the second out via the 5-4 putout, but they tried to get two for the price of one, but Whisker reaches on that throwing error from the second baseman, Rob Pauler, and he gets into scoring position.
Yeah, right on cue there. We're talking about that. Too much speed for Whisker there, but looked like the ball beat him, but it'll be a tough scoop, especially with the dirt conditions. But if that was a guy like Lawson, I think he would have been out.
Yeah, speed definitely playing a role in getting down the line there. Lawson, meanwhile, standing in 1 for 1 on the night. He is 3 of 10 in this season series against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. 2 of those hits, of course, home runs. First pitch he sees, fastball. Looked like it might have missed the strike zone as you see Lawson disagreeing with the call there, but close enough where he's got to be able to protect on anything near the zone. There is a base open at first, but McKenzie continuing to work here against Lawson. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball. Trying to get Lawson to chase after it, but a good job of Lawson to hold back and even this count up at 1-1. Sun started to set here, and light starting to come on at Jimmy Johns Field. Mentioned it is Xfinity Firework Friday at the ballpark, so fans who will stick around after this one for quite a show. Happens every Friday here at the ballpark. But Lawson taking his time in the batter's box as McKenzie steps off and reevaluates the situation. Gives a long look to second, comes home with it, and this one hit on a line into left field. It'll get out there to Daniel Oliveri, rounding third, and heading for home is Whisker. He'll come in without a throw, and the man who was the USPBL hitter of the week last week continuing to mash the baseball. Back-to-back singles for Jalen Lawson. And this one drives in the fourth run of the game for the Woolly Mammoths. They take the 4-2 lead.
Yeah, those errors always come back to bite you there. Completely different inning if you got that double play before, even the one to Whisker, but the error especially. And Lawson just hitting the cover of the ball, batting .350. And he's been the big source of offense for the Woolly Mammoths. We mentioned Kitson and Cuddy not hitting above 200, so those guys have been really getting it done.
And then look at this, finding a hole past two diving infielders is Jordan Thomas. And like we mentioned, he is the 1-800-HANSON's hitter of the game. Section 105 will get a gift certificate to 1-800-HANSON's. And nice job there from Thomas. It wasn't pretty, but finds the hole, gets on base, and continues the inning for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. And there's no action brewing in the Beaver bullpen just yet, but 4 earned runs for the Beavers through the first 3 frames. Not ideal if you are Cam McKenzie.
Yeah, seen the ball really well. They got 7 hits on 4 runs. And again, Barbie finds himself in a RBI spot here.
As this one's hit into left center field, running that baseball down is Oliveri for the third and final out, but not before the Mammoths can tack on 2 more runs in the home half of the third. They lead this one by a score of 4-2. We head to the fourth. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's USPBL broadcast. Got Mammoths and Beavers in action. Mammoths out in front of this one by a score of 4-2. As we head to this fourth inning, it'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Beavers up against Josh Mason, Christian Helsel, Adam Gauthier, and Skylar Mercado due up for the Beavers in this fourth inning try. Mason coming right where he had left off. He retired the side in order in the third, and he's got Helsel already down in the count here, 0-2. And as I look at the ratio, Christian Helsel ends up going down via the backwards K in the books, and Mason was not messing around. 3 straight pitches, retires Helsel with ease, and that was like taking candy away from a baby right there.
Yeah, Mason looked very confident there. Just got the 4-2 lead, and obviously wants to have the shutdown inning, which is always important. Especially right when you take the lead, you don't want to give it right back.
Yeah, 40 pitches on the night for Mason coming into this at-bat with Gauthier, and 27 of the 40 for strikes, a near-perfect ratio.
It's pretty good there. Solid. 40 pitches are only in the fourth inning. That's ahead of schedule for usual pitchers, so
yep,
looks very good right now, even though he let up those 2 runs.
I mean, your offense is there, backs you up. You give up 2 runs through the first 2 frames, but then your offense getting 4 runs in the last 2 sort of gives you that confidence and momentum booster as Gauthier works the 3-0 count, looks at called strike 1 to bring this count to 3-1. Mason kicks, deals, delivers, fastball outside corner. Look close, but home plate umpire Mr. Stuart Hall says it was, in fact, just a bit outside. And after the strikeout to begin this top half of the fourth, Gauthier reaches on the 1-out base on balls.
Yeah, I guess Mason wasn't listening to us when we said he looked confident. Done a 4-pitch or a 4-pitch walk there, so, or 5-pitch walk. So
yeah, if that doesn't describe the game, I don't know what does. And just goes to show you how tough it is to stay successful at any given time. Mercado stands in here now. Looked as if that might have been the exact same pitch we just saw to Gauthier that forced him to head to first base for the 1-out walk. And it's called a strike here to Mercado to begin this at-bat. Mercado 0 for 1 on the night, grounded out to shortstop to begin the second inning. And then on the 0-1 offer, he fouls it off out of play near M59 behind us.
But yeah, going back to the strike zone, those pitches look very close to each other, and one was called a ball to Gauthier and one was a strike to Mercado. But as a batter, it's very frustrating to have different calls. You want the umpire to be consistent with that, so you can adjust to it. But if he's inconsistent, you never know he's going to call.
And on the 0-2, breaking ball just missing outside. That was probably a perfect pitch if you're Mason. That one was right in the strike zone just until about the last second where it had kind of cut. It was that cut slider that we've been talking about. It had just bit out of the way of the zone. And now the fastball at 1-2, high and up, or high and away, I should say, evens the count up at 2-2. But Mercado on the season series, 2 of 9 with 2 runs, a stolen base, an RBI, and 3 walks. A little bit of everything for the guy out of the Bronx. Slider, there's that cut slide piece once again. And that one nowhere near the zone. It misses very outside, and now count is rung full. Chris Newell, the manager of the Beavers, relaying signs to his starting shortstop. You wonder if they'll maybe try a hit and run here with 1 out to avoid the double play. Runner is, in fact, going, but a good eye from Mercado. You wonder if it was a straight steal or it was a hit and run, but Mercado electing to hold off and earn the base on balls. Does a good job to hold off and bring runners to first and second here with just 1 out.
Great at bat by Mercado, down 0-2, and to lay off that 0-2 pitch you mentioned was very risky. You know, you never know what the umpire's going to call, and it was a strike until it cut at the end, but then to hold off for 4 straight, good at bat by Mercado, and it looked like hit and run to me. The 3-2 pitch he was off on. Looked like he was off before the pitch was thrown. So
And now trouble stands in as Hunter Wood comes up to the dish with 2 men on. Hit that solo home run in the second inning that gave the Beavers their second run of the game. Looks at a called strike to begin this at-bat, but coming into that home run plate appearance, he was 1 of 9 on the season against these Westside Woolly Mammoths, but he's quickly turned the page here today. He hits a rollover to the right side of the infield, and it'll be an easy play for Jalen Lawson to retire Hunter Wood, but both runners move up 90 feet closer to scoring, but there is, in fact, 2 outs now on the board, and if Mason can retire James Batley, then this one will stay where it's at. Batley grounded out to Mason himself on that bunt attempt back in the second inning, but of course Batley here with a couple of Beavers out on the dam. He'll try and put something in play here.
I like that, Beaver on the dam. But
Beaver in the dam, Hopper on the lily pad.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see a bunt with here with 2 outs. But smart play by Lawson in the second to get the sure out at first, because Mercado was almost ran into the ball there, running from first to second, so he knew he couldn't get him out because the ball was not hit as hard as he would have liked. So good play to get the out at first.
And did he wear that one? Looked like he might have, but instead he just gets out of the way of that one. Batley evens his count up at 1-1. There is the open base at first, but if you're Mason, you want to attack Batley here. You got Oliveri on deck, who's not much better from an offensive perspective, but he's electing to go after Batley in this crucial situation. Batley fouls off the 1-1 pitch, goes behind home plate, and now Beavers down to their final strike here in this top of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, the Beavers got a run in the first with an RBI single from Jack Kranick, who's got a 10-game hitting streak, and then Hunter Wood with a solo shot in the second give them their first 2 runs of the ball game, and that'll be the only runs they get through the first 4 at-bats as Batley chases after that one, and he goes down via the strikeout. For the first time today, Woolly Mammoths stay out in front of this one by a score of 4-2. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Jared Katz here with you. We head to the home half of the fourth inning. It'll be the bottom and then the top of the order for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. David Kimbrough, the fourth, standing in. And he looks at a called strike after looking at a ball to begin this at-bat. Count even at 1-1. Kimbrough hit a double that drove in a base runner back in the second inning. That one had tied this ball game up at 2, and since then, the Mammoths have scored 2 more runs in the third inning, and we'll see if they continue that trend with 2 runs in the second, 2 in the third. McKenzie back here out for the fourth. He's at 55 pitches. Pitch number 56 misses the zone as well, and now the count is 3-1. He's allowed 1 walk, but does have 1 strikeout through the first 3 frames. But with 30 strikes and 26 balls, you just definitely want to get that ratio a little bit more separated, as the 3-1 pitch is swung on and missed from Kimbrough. Big hard cut there as he was looking for his second hit of the night, but instead just strike number 2, and now the payoff pitch will be coming. The kick, the push, the swing, and the miss. Kimbrough, the second, is retired for the first out of the bottom of the fourth. And that'll bring us back to the top of the Westside Woolly Mammoth batting lineup.
Big strikeout there for McKenzie. When there was a 3-0 count, I was thinking, though, you don't want to walk this guy batting 0-56, batting 9th. It's the guy you want to go after. So came back from the 3-0 count to get the strikeout. It was big for McKenzie, because now you got the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, he had a 1-2-3 inning in the first, but it was because of that double play recorded by Rob Poller and Jack Hranick. But in the second inning, he faced off against 7 batters. And then in the third, he faced off against 7 more. So 14 batters in the last 2 frames. He now deals with Tommy Fiesel, the former wide receiver at Northwestern. And that breaking ball, how nasty it was. McKenzie just toying with Fiesel at the moment. The count 1-2. Fiesel 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Flew out to Ryan Smith back in the first. Grounded out to Skylar Mercado in the second. Trying to get his first hit of the night. Holds off on the 1-2 pitch on that slider that McKenzie loves to go to when he's ahead in the count. We'll see what he brings here on the 2-2 pitch. Maybe he'll come back inside with that fastball. Well, there it is. Just not as inside as he probably would have liked. That one looked right over the heart of the plate. Fiesel just couldn't catch up to it. He fouls it off and remains alive in the count.
Well, before that pitch, McKenzie threw 3 straight off-speed pitches, so I don't know if Fiesel's looking for the fastball there or looking for another off-speed pitch, but
there it is. Back-to-back strikeouts for McKenzie. Has him grooving here in this home half of the fourth inning. You wonder if it was just taking a little extra time there for McKenzie to get comfortable out on that bump. Had the 1-2-3 inning in the first, but like we mentioned, the 14 batters faced through the second and third frames allow the 4 runs to come in. But right around 60 pitches is McKenzie.
Yeah, if you're McKenzie and you want to go deeper in this game, you got to get this out quickly. Kitson batting 150, has a hit tonight and a walk, but doesn't seem very threatening at the moment with that 150 average.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, how Kitson's trying to improve his game at the plate. He doesn't need to whatsoever defensively, as I'd be shocked to not see him show up on a highlight reel once again this season. The 1-0 pitch, meanwhile, a slider that breaks off the plate. Kitson holds off. The count goes to 2-0 in his favor. He came in to score the 3rd run of the ball game on one of those errors from the Beavers infield. 2-0 pitch, called strike, right down Broadway, brings the count to 2-1.
Yeah, he came home after reaching second on that error by McKenzie, trying to get that double play.
Count 2-1. McKenzie gets the sign, brings that front leg up, delivers, and that one is fouled off over to the right side of foul territory. And We talk about it almost every night here, the layout of the infield here at Jimmy John's Field. A lot of room to make plays, and kind of reminds you of the Coliseum in Oakland, where the A's play, of course. But the count 2-2 here on Drew Kitson. McKenzie comes in with that breaking ball, and it's fouled off just at the top of the protective netting. We almost had a fan get a lucky souvenir there, but we'll have to wait at least another pitch.
Yeah, if you're coming out here, bring your gloves. You never know where the ball's going to go. Yeah, there's a protective netting, but we've seen a couple balls. We've seen a couple balls make the crowd. And last night there was a man who almost got hit by it sitting over there, and you got to pay attention.
Got to stay on your toes.
You never know. You never know where the ball's coming. And on the hill, had a ball last night over the hill. Had one tonight. Yeah, by Underwood on the hill there.
Yeah,
so.
Fan caught it tonight, so that was pretty cool to see. The players on the field weren't able to get to it, of course, but a fan caught it. Nobody's going to catch this one. This one at the track, at the wall. You can forget about it. Drew Kitson with his first home run of the season. We were talking about how well he's been defensively, but there is the offense from the right-hander. He has reached base safely in all three at-bats. The single, the walk, and now the solo shot gives the Mammoths the 3-run lead.
First homer of the year for Kitson. Looks like he's locked in right now, 3 for 2 for 2 with the walk. So looks like he's found his bat tonight. And Drew McKenzie that's not good. You're up 1-2 in the count. Got him back to 2-2, but threw too good of a pitch there. So he hit it pretty far. That was gone from. He knew it from when he left the bat. Started walking to first and got his first home run of the year. So congrats to Drew Kitson.
Hopefully a fan will find that baseball, maybe bring it back. But either way, the Mammoths now with the 3-run lead, and Brandon Cuddy stands in here, looks at a ball to begin this at-bat. And with that home run from Kitson, you wonder how long the manager, Mr. Chris Newell, will wait before he starts to warm somebody up in the bullpen. And then look at that, another 2-out hit for the Mammoths. Keep them rolling here in the home half of the fourth. And Mr. JJ, the field general out there on the diamond, he was looking for the bat, couldn't find it, but he's getting some help here now, sniffing around, trying to find it. Umpires helping out, players as well. He'll get there. 1 second,
Very
sniffing around.
Here.
Even when he doesn't do his job perfectly, he still finds a way to get the crowd going. And now our intern Jake will have to take care of JJ. And there he goes. He finds it, and they're going to run off the field together. Good stuff right there from JJ. Too funny.
I'm back on the field.
Back onto the action. He says, "Hi, guys. How we doing at home plate?"
I think he wants to bat tonight.
Either way, he's having fun.
Yeah, for sure. Looking for that steak when he comes back.
Good old JJ, the field general, doing his best job of entertaining this crowd here tonight. And speaking of entertaining the crowd, Tyler Pagano stands in here now with a 1 for 2 night. Double and a run scored in the second, a fly out to center in the third. So the third straight inning where he's getting an at-bat.
Yeah, been a good couple innings here for the Mammoths. The guys that weren't hitting, starting to hit now. Kitson with that home run, Cuddy with that single. So maybe if those guys start to heat up, they're already on a 4-game winning streak, as you mentioned before. They could really take off and take control of this league.
Yeah, after starting out the season 0-2, they've won the 4 straight, like we've mentioned, and they have not been able to stop this trend. They're looking for their 5th straight win in a row, and a broken bat ends up turning into a fielder's choice. Brandon Cuddy is retired via the 5-4 putout. And look at JJ, he gets the broken bat, and he finds it, and everybody goes home happy, at least for now, at the end of the 4th. We're through those 4 innings. Westside Woolly Mammoths out in front by 3. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Right back into the action we go. It'll be Daniel Oliveri to lead things off for the Beavers to start off this 5th inning. Your score 5-2. Beavers with 2 runs in the first 2 frames. The Mammoths with all 5 in their last 3 frames. That's where we stand as of right now. A home run for each team. Hunter Wood in the second. And then for the Mammoths, we just saw Drew Kitson take 1 yard to give the Mammoths the 3-run lead. And Oliveri down in the count here quickly, 1-2. As he's 0 for 1 on the evening. He flew out to right field to end the second. Batting 200 coming into play today. Coming into this at-bat, he's 2 of 13 on the series. A line drive almost in reach of the glove of Jordan Thomas at shortstop, but he cannot get enough extension in the air, and because of it, Daniel Oliveri with his first base hit of the night.
Look at those hops from Jordan Thomas at short. If he was a couple inches taller, he would have had that ball, I think. But a hard hit by Oliveri. And for the Beavers, you know, they've been led by Hranek and Wood, but they need their other guys to start hitting, like Ryan Smith and Mercado and Oliveri there. So to get back in this game, just like the Mammoths have got hits from Drew Kitson and Cuddy.
A really nice job from Oliveri doing his job as the number 9 hitter to get on base to lead off this inning. And now back to the top of the Beaver order we go. It's Ryan Smith. He looks at a breaking ball that misses the zone here, 1-0. But if you're Mason, got to limit as much damage as possible. Still doing a really good job as far as pitch count goes. He's 38 strikes, 24 balls. Pretty good ratio, but if you want to last into the 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th inning, you're going to want to get out of this 5th without any damage. As Oliveri stays over there at first base. That one's fouled off, the count 1-1.
Yeah, you never want to give up a leadoff single to the 9th hole hitter. It's usually, well, in the National League and the majors, it's always an automatic out. American League, still almost an easy out, but you never want to let that 9-hole guy get on base. He's almost like a second leadoff guy. Usually has speed, so.
As this ball is hit high, and I mean high out there to right field, but an easy play for Ethan Whisker to battle the tiny amount of sun that has remained showing on this ball diamond. It's really only right where Whisker is standing, to be honest with you. So I understand Ryan Smith trying to put the ball where it might be tough for a fielder to see, but he is retired for the first out here in the 5th.
Yeah, if you're Ryan Smith, I think you're trying to get the runner to second no matter how you can do that. But maybe, I don't know if he had that in his mind about just because he's in, that guy's over there, but he's in the sun, so I don't know if he was thinking about that, but got to make better contact.
So it'll be Rob Pauler now standing in from the left side. Looks at a ball to begin this at-bat. Pauler on the night, 1 of 2 with a double and a run scored. Pauler on the season series, he's 4 of 16. As this 1-0 pitch fouled off and evens the count up at 1-1. But we mentioned Pauler, the man out of Brooklyn, New York, had a home run in last night's game. Part of the reason the Beavers ended their 5-game losing streak when they beat the Utica Unicorns by a final of 10-8. Back and forth all night long, and ended up in a crucial spot for the Beavers, as it was their first of 3 here on the weekend. Back-to-back games here on Thursday and Friday for the Beavers, and they'll also play on Sunday in a rematch of yesterday's contest between them and the Unicorns.
Looking forward to that one, especially after last night. Nice game, 10-8. But I think Pauler last night hit that ball back to Brooklyn. So.
It was east, technically.
It was.
So,
yep.
He hits another one east, and that one goes off of the bag at first. It goes into the corner. Rounding second, heading for third. And going into second base is Pauler. He gets the double. Daniel Oliveri moves up 180 feet closer to scoring, gets into third. And Pauler just continues to have a great night. That's his second double.
Pauler hitting the ball really well. You know, coming into tonight with that 212 average, you would think that, you know, not the best hitter, but home run last night over the hill and 2 hits tonight, bringing up the man of the hour here, who they want with that 10-game hitting streak. Hranek. I don't know if the Mammoths, they might intentionally walk here. I don't know what you think about that, but they might do it. I don't know.
The base is open. There is one out. I would. I really would if I was the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It would put the tying run on base, which is your only cause for concern as Hranek fouls off the first pitch he sees. You do have Christian Helsel on deck, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight. So I'm shocked to see Mason and the Mammoths going after Hranek here, but just goes to show no matter how well you're doing, Shane McCaddy and company will be coming after you. And that's exactly what Mason's doing, as he's got ahead in this count against Hranek as this ball is lifted high into right center field. It won't be enough to get out of the park, but Drew Kitson coming underneath it. There might be a play at third. The relay is short. It gets in there, but it makes contact with Pauler before he reaches the bag safely, and he's going to need a breather here as he got roughed up a little bit with that baseball coming in. He looks like he'll end up being okay. He's a tough guy out there. He got it. Looks to be on that right thigh as he's having a conversation with Chris Newell over there at third base. And nice job of sportsmanship right there from Jordan Thomas to go over, give Pauler a little love tap there to say he's sorry for drilling him. Didn't have to, but nice show of sportsmanship there as both guys are cracking up a little bit. Might have gotten a place where Pauler didn't want it. But either way, he slides in safely to third on that tag up. And Hranek, with that sacrifice fly, drives in the Beavers' third run of the game.
Yeah, those are painful, especially you don't know the ball's coming. You're not expecting it, and but I'm still surprised that they pitched to him. I mean, that could have been worse. He hit it pretty far.
Yeah,
and this guy's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, batting 240 instead of Hranek hitting 367. So kind of surprising, but I think they did the best they could do there.
A game of small, precise, and important decisions that ultimately lead to results. Helsel stands in here after he swings and misses at the first pitch. He looks at a bender that's called strike 2, but Hranek drives in Daniel Oliveri, and Helsel with an opportunity to put the Beavers within 1. Instead, he looks at 3 straight, swings at 1, looks at 2. Either way, he goes down for the 3rd time tonight via the strikeout, and that is good enough to have him toss on the sombrero. Unlucky there, but we head to the bottom of the 5th. Westside out in front of this one by a score of 5-3. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz here with you. It'll be the 5th inning of work for Cameron McKenzie. He'll deal with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters of this Westside Woolly Mammoth lineup. Ethan Whisker yet to retire and yet to be stopped coming in to score. He's got a single, and he reached on a fielder's choice once, but he came in to score twice here for the Mammoths. And that is the difference so far. 5-3 your score. Beavers with the threat in the top of the 5th, but they only get the 1 run out of it. But they creep back into that lead for the Mammoths. Meanwhile, Whisker on the 1-1 pitch swings probably not at a pitch that he would have liked, as that one in the dirt brings the count to 1-2 on Whisker.
We got action in both bullpens, so you wonder how long they'll stick with McKenzie here.
This ball's tailing into the right center corner, and James Batley runs it down, but he can't come up with the baseball. It's rounding third and rounding second, heading for third is Whisker. It does make contact with Batley's glove on the run, but it was a really tough play. He might have been able to make the catch if he lined out for it, but instead it'll be a leadoff triple for Ethan Whisker, and the Mammoths just continue to swing it.
Good effort by Batley out there. It's a tough play, but we know some guys that would have made that play. Not going to mention any names. JBJ, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Austin Jackson.
Yeah, maybe. But you wonder how long they'll stick with McKenzie, especially if they get another hit. And Lawson's batting. I think he's 2 for 2, right?
He is, in fact, 2 for 2 with a couple different singles.
Scoreboard operator got to put that 2 for 2 on there. But yeah, he's hitting very well.
Ground ball right back up the middle. We've seen McKenzie struggle fielding-wise in this ball game so far, but he makes that one with ease. Lawson is retired via the 1-3 putout for out number 1, and Whisker will have to stay at third for at least one more at-bat.
Good play by McKenzie. He didn't look nervous there, looked the runner back to third, and made a good throw to first. But not out of the woods yet. But you do got Jordan Thomas batting 174. So if you're McKenzie, you like your chances. But you never know. I mean, all these guys in the Woolly Mammoths tonight batting 100, 150, getting all these hits. So you never know.
Yeah, since they've only played 6 games, the numbers early on, of course, not really telling the true story of what some of these guys can do. And if you get off to a hot start, that batting average can stay consistently at a good number. But if you have a slow, rough start, it'll be tough to climb back and get the numbers that you want. And Jordan Thomas hasn't had the greatest start to the season, but a good night. He's got the RBI single to his credit that drove in the 4th run of the ball game, which would technically be the game winner if the score remains the same here tonight, or if the Mammoths, of course, win and the Beavers only remain at 3. Thomas even at the count, 1-1. Infielders all in, and this ball is hit a mile high. It'll be in foul territory. Jack Hranick over to his right ends up making the play for out number 2, and quickly after the leadoff triple, a couple of soft hit balls have retired both Lawson and Thomas. And now Jake Barbie will stand in with a couple of flyouts to his belt so far.
Jordan Thomas not happy with himself there, throwing the bat down as he wasted a golden RBI opportunity. And, you know, when you're batting that low, 174, you want to get an RBI there. Because even if you just put it in play, usually it's an RBI. But, you know, we were mentioning how tough it is. You know, a good average means you fail 7 out of 10 times.
Exactly.
So baseball, it's very hard mentally because there's more failure than success, especially for batters.
So going back to work is McKenzie as he deals with Jake Barbie now. Barbie on the season just 1 for 7, but does have 3 RBIs. Meanwhile, Cameron McKenzie with his 86th pitch of the night. It's a slow dribbler over to the first base side, and the big fella doing some work and getting over to the bag very quickly. That is Jack Hranick, of course, the first baseman, retires Barbie via the 3 unassisted play. And the leadoff triple cannot come in to score. The Mammoths remain at 5. As we're through 5, we head to the 6th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the 6th we go. Rich Borland, Jared Katz on the call here with you. It'll be Josh Mason back out on the bump for the Mammoths here to start off this 6th inning. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Beavers. Gauthier, Mercado, and Wood due up. Gauthier on the first pitch he sees. He looks at a breaking ball called strike. Looks at another one for a ball. Mason with a couple of benders in to begin this at-bat, and 3 straight now as Gauthier is not seeing any types of fastballs. 0 for 1 on the night. He popped out to first base to end the first, and then reached on a base on balls in the 4th inning as Gauthier looks at called strike 2 to even the count up at 2-2. Wind blowing in just a little bit here at Jimmy John's Field. Gauthier with another breaking ball seen. Brings the count to full, and if you're Mason, you've thrown Gauthier quite a bit of off-speed pitches, and on the payoff pitch, fastball misses outside. You see the body language from Mason as he's not too pleased with missing that one, and you wonder if it's because another guy will be coming in, and there's some rustling over there in that left field bullpen for the Mammoths.
Yeah, not a good start to the inning for Mason. Obviously not what you want to do, especially after the count's 2-2. Obviously upset with himself, as we saw there. And looks like there's 2 guys in the bullpen for the Mammoths.
Yeah, there's only one officially getting loose, and that's number 15, Jack Finnegan. Mercado, meanwhile, up at the plate with just 1 base runner on. Of course, that's Gauthier at first base. Mercado on the night, 0 for 1 with a ground out to shortstop. He reached on a base on balls in the 4th. Gauthier and Mercado hit back-to-back walks in the 4th inning, but oh my goodness, Mercado with a hard line drive back up the middle, goes right off of the shin of Josh Mason on the mound. He's been doing really well all night, and you can tell he did not get meat on that one. It was all bone. He is definitely limping out there, and we talked about, you wonder how much longer he'd be able to stay in this game with where we're at. But after the leadoff walk to Adam Gauthier, Mercado hits a line drive right back up the middle, and it goes off of Mason's front leg. It looks like Shane McCaddy is going to allow him to try and work through this, but, you know, with that line drive, you're going to take as many seconds and moments as you can to keep allowing the guys in the bullpen to warm up, but I'd be shocked to see Mason continue here.
Yeah, I've been there as a pitcher myself. It is not a fun time, I'll tell you that, but looks like he's going to gut it out for the time being, I guess. I mean, I'm surprised. I thought they would take him out anyways, even if he didn't get hit by the line drive. So.
Right, but a very tough guy out there, clearly on the bump, and can you imagine if he somehow gets through this inning without any runs scored?
That'd be a heroic effort.
Yeah. He'll have to deal with Hunter Wood, who already has a home run off of him tonight, so quite the battle for Mason. He's got a throbbing pain in his leg and a throbbing pain at the plate in Hunter Wood. A couple of base runners on, nobody out here in the top of the sixth. Tying run for the Beavers is at first base, and Mason in his biggest spot of trouble all night long, and not sure what we're seeing there from Hunter Wood as he swings at a ball in the dirt.
Yeah, trying to go for that second home run and give the Beavers a lead there. Just trying to hit that over the hill.
A lot of people out on that hill in right field tonight. One of the best seats in the house. Bring a blanket and only $6 and you're set. The 0-1 to Wood, another bender, and Wood another chase. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2, and I believe everybody in this park expects another breaking ball to be thrown here from Mason. The question is, can Wood hold off of it? But, of course, that's what everybody's expecting after seeing those two curveballs. So the art of mixing up what you got to deliver to some of these hitters, we'll see what he brings. Fastball hit to the right side. Could it be 2, the 3, the 6, the 3, safe at first as Wood gets over there just in time to reach on the fielder's choice. Gauthier gets to third. Mercado is retired for out number 1 via the 3-6 putout. But Wood, like we mentioned, reaches first base safely. A couple of runners on the corners with one out here. And Mason still could get out of this jam. James Batley, of course, probably the fastest guy on this Birmingham Bloomfield team. It'll be really tough to get to. They might have to do it the unconventional way and try and double a guy off. But we've already seen it happen once before here tonight. The Beavers recorded it defensively against the Mammoths in the first inning, but we've seen stranger things happen, and Batley fouls off the first pitch he sees there. Down in the count, he is 0-1.
Yeah, there was a double play last night where one of the guys got thrown out at home, and then the guy got thrown out going to second. But it's going to take a very hard ground ball to get Batley to get that double play. I mean, he's very fast.
A 1 pitch misses in the dirt and away. Good job by Jake Barbie behind the dish to keep that one in front of him and keep the runners at the corners. Tying run at first base. Winning run at the plate. We're here in this top of the 6th inning on this gorgeous Friday night. We might get our double play. Lawson over to the shortstop, over to first. Not in time. Looked like it might have been good, but we just talked about it. Batley's speed, the difference there, and because of it, they get their 4th run.
Yeah, I knew it would be really hard to double him off. That's the closest you'll get right there, but it looked like the umpire made a good call. He looked safe to me just by half a step, but it was a great turn by Lawson, but just Batley's just too quick. And it's probably almost impossible to double him up unless you hit it right at the pitcher.
Yeah, that was about as close as we were going to get to seeing James Batley get retired via a double play. He almost got retired getting picked off right there. Got caught off guard, but the first baseman, Brandon Cuddy, could not hold on to that baseball. So the inning continues. Mason 56 strikes, 31 balls. They're trying to get Batley again at first, but cannot get him in time. There is some action out there in the Birmingham Bloomfield bullpen. Looks to be a left-hander out there. By first glance, I think it might be Toriano Fuscardo as we look through our binoculars here. But meanwhile, a runner going from first to second is Batley, and a really offline throw there from Jake Barbie. It actually went off of the pitcher's mound and near that shortstop position. Nowhere close was that throw. So Batley gets into second base with ease. I mean, Jared, I think maybe even you or me might have made that stolen base on that throw.
No doubt, Rich.
And that's a lot.
I think we could have crawled the second.
Meanwhile, this one might be a broken bat. Oliveri tries to fight one off, puts it back up the middle, but Jalen Lawson with his second play of the inning retires the Beavers in the top half of the sixth inning, but not before the Beavers can get one more run. It's 5-4, excuse me. Mammoths still out in front. We head to the home half of the sixth. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the sixth we go. Cameron McKenzie's night is all said and done. He goes 5 innings, allows 3 earned runs on 9 hits. 5 runs, of course, came in to score, 2 of them unearned with a couple of errors. And he allowed a walk, did have 3 strikeouts to his credit, but he now gives way to Toriano Fuscardo, who's in his 5th relief appearance of the season for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. He's dealing with David Kimbrough II as that fastball gets called a strike on the inside part of the plate. Fuscardo, in those 4 relief appearances, he's gone 7 innings. He's got 6 hits given up, 2 walks, but does have 8 strikeouts and a 1.29 ERA through those 4 relief outings. Last outing was on May the 27th against these same Westside Woolly Mammoths, where he had a really good outing. 2 1/3, allows 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts to no walks. Struck out a third of the batters that he had faced. And that fastball in on the hands of Kimbrough once again couldn't do anything with it as Fuscardo continues to pound that inside part of the strike zone. Jack Finnegan continuing to get loose out there in the bullpen for the Mammoths. Be shocked to see Mason head back out for another inning of work, as through the first 6 frames, he's allowed 6 hits, the 4 runs, of course, but out pitching his counterpart, Cameron McKenzie, as Fuscardo gets Kimbrough to foul that pitch off. The count remains at 2-2.
Actually, using those binoculars, I don't know if you tried this before, but if you watch the pitch, it's actually very cool.
Got
It's
like
like
a
really close.
little camera action here.
Yeah,
Get the
you can
up
see
close
everything.
and personal as Fuscardo sets, kicks, and swinging right over that baseball was David Kimbrough, the second, as that breaking ball goes right underneath the bat for the strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for David Kimbrough, the second. Bring us back to the top of the West Side order as Thomas Fiesel now stands in. He has a strikeout on the night as well, but 0 for 3 with a fly out to right, the ground out to shortstop, and of course that strikeout in his last at-bat. 4th plate appearance for Fiesel, trying to get his first hit of the night and keep the Mammoths out in front. And on the first pitch he sees, takes it to right field with the 1-out single. Nice job of Fiesel to go attack that pitch early. And he's on base here. We'll see if he uses his speed to his advantage.
Yeah, nice hit by Fiesel. When a new reliever comes in, you want to attack them early because they're usually trying to throw strikes right off the bat, right out of the bullpen. But a big hit for Fiesel because he was batting 167 before that, and I don't know how long the Mammoths would go with him batting first if he went 0 for 4. So it's a big hit. And now you got Drew Kitson 2 for 2, the home run, single, RBI, and a walk. So great night so far for Drew Kitson, and he could add to it here.
Kitson in his 4th plate appearance. He has yet to been retired. Like you said, Drew, my bad, Jared. As you said, Jared, the perfect night, the single, the home run, and the base on balls, the 2 runs scored. Of course, the RBI with the home run. The only negative part of the night for Kitson, he was doubled off in that first inning, but there was nothing he could really do about it, as the left-hander Fuscardo keeping tabs on Fiesel over there at first base.
Yeah, Kitson, another negative is he hasn't made a top play tonight. Where's that? Like,
right, you expect it every day now.
Expectations are so high. Yeah.
Fiesel on the season does have 2 stolen bases, so keep tabs on him over there at first base. Fuscardo, meanwhile, the count even at 1-1 here against Kitson.
But for all those listening, Drew Kell is not here tonight. He'll be here tomorrow, fellow broadcast intern. So
I believe he'll be calling the game with me on Sunday in our final contest of the weekend. It'll be the rematch from Thursday's game. Unicorns and Beavers. But Kitson standing in here. He'll have to protect with 2 strikes. Toriano Fuscardo trying to strike out his second hitter of the night. Fiesel over there on first. Stays at first base, but Kitson will be heading that way. A base knock into left field moves everybody up 90 feet. Fiesel was thinking about taking third, but elects to hold off and stay at second. Back-to-back base knocks for the Mammoths have 2 runners on. And now Brandon Cuddy stands in.
yeah, whatever Kitson was eating for breakfast this morning, he should continue to eat it because he can't get out. So I don't know if it's extra work in the cage or anything like that, but seeing the ball well tonight for sure.
a great night offensively for Kitson. It was only a matter of time, and it's clearly shown why Shane McCaddy, the manager of this Westside team, has had him in that 2-hole all year long. It was only a matter of time before he got hot, and tonight could be his breakout game. We've seen his defense, and now the offense is there. Can Drew Kitson become one of the premier guys here in this USPBL? We've talked about Jalen Lawson on the Mammoths. We've talked about Spencer Ibarra on the Unicorns. We've talked about Jack Hranick on the Beavers. And it's just overall, you know, those three guys taking charge at the top of this league so far. And as I say that, the pitch getting away from Fuscardo. The count now 2-0 on Cuddy. And on that pitch, it gets away from Hunter Wood behind home plate, and both runners will move up 90 feet closer to scoring.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of really good players at the top. You know, Spencer Ibarra last night, 4 for 5, I think. And Hranick, 10-game hitting streak. Jalen Lawson, of course, but Kitson's having a great night. For his sake, I hope there's some MLB scouts watching this game.
That ball not in the zone either. Cuddy has worked the count in his favor here, 3-0. There is that open base at first, so at this point you wonder if you're Fuscardo, if you're just going to allow the base runner to get there the easy way. Fastball outside corner called strike. Looked like it might have missed the zone, but now if you're Fuscardo, you might want to go after Cuddy here, just the one out. Infielders playing in. They're trying to not allow the Mammoths to take the 2-run lead. But if Cuddy can find a hole, there's a good chance he brings in 2. Fuscardo kicks, delivers. There's that fastball again, just a little bit more outside. It is a game of inches, and that one merely missing the zone. That one loads the bases.
Yeah, tough call there. It looked pretty good. I mean, it looked pretty good from here. And earlier, on the other side of the plate, he's called a few balls out. He called a few balls out there strikes. So that's a tough break, but good eye for Cuddy there. And now, at least for the Beavers, you got the double play set up. Force at any base, so they can see if they can get out of this inning and keep it a 1-run game.
So a meeting of the minds on the mound. Chris Newell trying to keep his guys composed out there. You got bases loaded in a 1-run game. We're about 2/3 of the way through this one. Fiesel at third, Kitson at second, Cuddy now over there at first base with the base on balls, and the cleanup hitter Tyler Pagano getting ready to stand in. He had that double to lead off the second inning and came around to score on the single off the bat of Whisker, who is looming on deck. But if you're the Beavers here, your motive, if you're Chris Newell, tell your pitcher to try and get a ground ball to get 2 for the price of 1. That's really the only thing you can say here. He's either got to get him himself with a strikeout or force him to hit a ground ball that will hopefully find a piece of leather if you're a Beaver fan. But a really big opportunity here for Pagano to break this one open and get some insurance runs for the Mammoths.
Yeah, 12 hits for the Mammoths already in the 6th inning.
Ground ball left side. It goes off of the diving glove of the third baseman, Christian Helsel. And coming in to score is Drew Kitson all the way from second. So both Fiesel and Kitson come in to score, and they'll make it a 7-4 ball game. But you hope Christian Helsel's okay. You kind of saw him grabbing. I'm not sure if it was the wrist or not, but he looks to be okay, at least for the moment.
Yeah, it looked like he rolled it a little bit, but that was a tough play. But you wonder if he didn't touch it, if it would have got by him or Mercado could have made a play on it. But there's no way they would have got a double play. So Mammoths, you know, keep it going here.
Pouring it on, they are indeed. Runners on first and second. Pagano gets the 2 RBI base knock, I should say. That one, you know, a tough play if you're the Beavers, but it is in fact a base knock. It was Helsel who had laid out. It made contact with his glove, but he was fully extended, and because of it, Pagano gets the 2 RBIs. Just an unfortunate circumstance there for the Beavers, and it breaks this game open into a 3-run lead for the Mammoths. They got 2 runs in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 2 more here in this home half of the 6th. Cuddy out in scoring position at second base. Fuscardo trying to limit the damage here, but he will not be able to do it. Ethan Whisker doing everything in his power to go with that pitch. Goes down to that right field corner. A run comes in to score is Cuddy from second. And will there be a play at the plate? No, there won't. The shortstop, Skylar Mercado, the cutoff man in the infield, throws it home, but not on a line. And look at that. The Mammoths, really good job of base running, gives them 2 more.
Great base running there by the Mammoths, but that hit was a little bit of luck there, you know, opposite field, right down the line. I don't know if you're ever trying to do that, but worked out well for the Mammoths. You know.
He goes with the pitch. He puts it where they ain't. Might not be the exact spot he was thinking about putting that baseball, but all you got to do is put it in between the lines and where the players aren't. Because of it, 4 straight guys have came in to score for the Mammoths.
Yeah, there's been some tough luck for Mercado out there, you know. I mean, that one where Helsel missed it or dove for it and it hit his glove. And then that going with the pitch, you know, just some tough. Baseball's a tough sport, you know. It's either your day or it's not. So definitely not his day.
Whisker over there at second. And Lawson hitting one to the right side. Pollard bobbles it for a second, but holds on in time to retire Lawson for the second out. But between the strikeout that led off this inning, David Kimbrough, and that ground out from Lawson, we saw 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and a walk. That brings in 4 runs for these Westside Woolly Mammoths. And we talked about how they're on the 4-game winning streak after losing their first 2 games to these Beavers. They got the season series split at 2 games apiece, and the Mammoths looking to take their 3rd straight from Chris Newell and company. And got to tip your cap to Shane McCaddy for what he has been able to do with this team here after the first 2 losses of the season.
Yeah, and these teams, you know, over the course of the summer, they get really used to each other. Again, only 4 teams here, so these teams play each other all summer, and each coach will start to pick up on what the other team does well, and the batters will start getting used to the pitchers, stuff like that. So we could have some high-scoring games because it's easier to adjust as a hitter than a pitcher for sure.
It is a game of adjustments. Good pitching, of course, will always beat good hitting, but when you're in a league like this where guys see the opposition more often than not, can definitely start to lean towards an advantage for these hitters. That is definitely the truth there. Thomas, meanwhile, down in the count here, 2-0. Almost takes the last 2 pitches off the rib cage, but he's worked the count here 3-0 in his favor. He's 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI single in the 3rd, but outside of that, a strikeout and a pop-out.
Don't want to walk Thomas, who's batting 174.
A 3-0 from Fuscardo. Fastball right down Broadway and keeps this at-bat going. Thomas with a great hitter's count now and an opportunity to drive in the man standing over there at third base, Mr. Ethan Whisker. This ball hit high, shallow center field. Batley slips a couple of times, and it'll end up being the right fielder, Ryan Smith, who had a beat on it from the time he had left this position to start. And that one unconventionally recorded, but Beavers end up getting the 3rd and final out. We head to the 7th. Mammoths out in front 9-4 with that 4-run inning. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 7th we go. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz here with you. Ryan Smith, the leadoff batter for the Beavers, getting right into the action. Second pitch he sees, he ends up grounding out to the shortstop, Mr. Jordan Thomas, for the first out of the inning. I almost said Josh Mason because he is now officially out of this ball game. He goes 6 innings strong, allows the 4 earned runs on the 6 hits. Gave up 3 walks, but had 5 strikeouts against the Beavers, and he outpitched his counterpart, Mr. Cameron McKenzie, who started for the Beavers. And Mason, of course, in line for the win if the Mammoths can remain out front for the rest of this baseball game. Rob Poller standing in from the left side now. He's had a great night at the plate. A couple of doubles and a run scored to his credit. And it's a high fly ball that'll end up getting out of play, as he's down in the count here 0-1.
Yeah. Solid start by Mason. He gave up the first 2 runs of the game, down 2-0 in the second inning. You know, let his team come back, get some runs for him, and shut down the Beavers. Held them to only 4 runs. And we saw last night, the Beavers can hit 10 runs last night. So, good hitting team that he shut down today. So, overall, a pretty good start for Mason.
And like we mentioned, he now gives way to Mr. Jack Finnegan, the man out of Houston, Texas. In his 3rd game in relief for this Westside Woolly Mammoth team, he's allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs in 4 innings. He's allowed 4 walks, but does have 6 strikeouts for his totals this season. Down in the count 0-2 is Poller. That one in the dirt, nowhere near the zone. Poller has to turn away and protect himself as he's worked the count 1-2 now. The wind really picking up a little bit as it's blowing from left to right field, as you see the flag in center field waving. And waving on that 1-2 is Poller. He's retired for the 2nd time tonight. 2nd out of the inning. Smith, Poller, and now probably the toughest out in this Birmingham Bloomfield lineup, Mr. Jack Hranick. And thankfully he got that RBI single back in the first, because since then he's grounded out to shortstop and flew out to center. That fly out to center, though, was a sacrifice. He had driven in Daniel Oliveri in the 5th inning. So we'll see if Hranick can continue his hot pace that he is at. That one, though, a fastball. Talk about feeling uncomfortable. Pretty much right at the feet of Hranick.
Yeah. Finnegan coming in, he looks pretty good, but the only thing I can think about him being from Houston, we both had tough Game 7s. Of course, him with the Rockets and my Celtics. So it's been rough couple days.
As the hard ground ball is stopped on a dive by Brandon Cuddy, showing the athleticism over there at first base. But we have played 6.5. It's stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. Beavers still trail this one by 5. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Jared Katz along here with you for tonight's broadcast. We're all stretched out and headed to the home half of the 7th. Toriano Fuscardo out there for his second inning of work. It'll be Jake Barbie leading the way for the Mammoths, the only batter in this lineup that did not have an at-bat in the 6th inning. So Fuscardo faces off against every batter in the lineup except Barbie in that 6th. He allowed the 4 runs on the 4 hits. Trying to get back in this one. That's pretty much the difference. It was a really close game back and forth until that home half of the 6th when the Mammoths poured on for 4 runs. And Barbie on the night, 0 for 3 though, a couple of flyouts and a ground out to first base. Fouls one off of the leg there. You can tell he's in a little bit of pain as the count goes to 2-1, but Mr. Katz, we talked about your Celtics and then the Houston Rockets losing in terrible fashion in Game 7s. It's tough to lose, any game, but at that stage, of course, nothing tougher. Well, I guess there is one thing that could be tougher. That's, of course, the shoulders of J.R. Smith after last night's game. If you don't know what happened, J.R. Smith had pretty much pulled the opposite of a Chris Webber, where he had thought that the Cavs were up by a point. Instead, they were tied, and he could have easily laid in a layup for 2 after George Hill had missed a free throw that could have put the Cavs out in front by 1. As I say that, Barbie is retired via the 4-3 putout. That's the 4th out of the game for Barbie, but what a mental lapse and miscue from J.R. Smith last night. And you felt the energy and the surge from the Cavs late in that 4th quarter. LeBron put up 51 points in the losing effort, and I believe that's the 2nd time in his career that he's put up 50 points in a playoff game where they could not come out with the victory, and I think it was 2 years ago where he did it against, of course, the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Championship Series. But we also got...
It's a tough loss. I mean, that's the best the Cavs could play, in my opinion, and they still lose, So I think they're gonna get killed on Sunday. I think it might be a blowout. But what doesn't get talked about as much as the J.R. Smith play was that George Hill missed the free throw.
Right.
That's a big choke. If that never happened, if J.R. Smith didn't do that bonehead play, everyone would be talking about missed free throws, you know?
Who knows if maybe J.R. Smith gets that rebound and then ends up putting it in for 2 points off the glass. Everybody would have forgotten about Hill's missed free throw if the Cavs came out on top. But either way, just a tough night for all of Believe Land. And
no sympathy from this guy here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cleveland.
Hey, I'll tell you what, your Celtics will be back.
Oh, yeah.
You got Kyrie and
Gordon Hayward.
Jason
Tatum.
Hopefully to stay healthy all year long, of course.
Yeah.
But back to the USPBL baseball here. Kimbrough down in the count 1-2. Looks like a fan will get a lucky souvenir on this one. It actually bounces back into the Beaver dugout. So no lucky souvenir for a fan on that one. But Kimbrough staying alive in the count here, 1-2 with 1 out on the board.
Last night, another USPBL is gaining some national attention. Another ESPN top 10 play last night.
Yeah.
Who was it by?
It was Carter Grote,
Grote,
left fielder of the Unicorns, as Kimbrough swings and misses for the 3rd straight time after getting a RBI double back in the 2nd inning of play. But, yeah, that was quite a jump and quite a dive from Carter Grote. He had robbed a base knock away, and I'll tell you what, it was quite a showing. Not as impressive as Drew Kitsen's catch, but still good enough to make the top 10 plays. We're hoping that if the USPBL gets another one, which we would imagine it would, if we're on pace, you're going to see 1 or 2 plays from the USPBL a month.
Yeah, we're on pace to dominate the top 10
right?
this year. But it was funny, actually, the anchor said Carter Grote. I don't know if you heard that part.
I did.
So,
I did, in fact, is
those ESPN anchors.
I mean, they
No, they have no idea.
yeah, they of course probably not keeping up with the USPBL as
No.
most people in this great state of Michigan, and of course around the country. With all of you fans tuning in, we do appreciate it. Whether you're parents, family, relatives, or just fans of the league, we do appreciate you tuning in here. It's the 9-4 ball game as Tommy Fiesel is standing in here now as he fouls off that 1-1 pitch out of play. The count 1-2 now on Fiesel. He was 0 for 3 going into his last plate appearance where he had singled and scored a run when the Mammoths had put up the 4 spot in the 6th inning. Fiesel was the one to start that rally. He's trying to start another one here with 2 outs. The ground ball chopped its way over to the shortstop, Mercado. Mercado's going to have to quickly realize who that is running out of the box. He didn't really charge it as fast as he should have. He did not play the hop that well either. And because of it, Fiesel gets into first base.
Yeah, Mercado let the ball come to him there. Got to come at it faster. Like he's probably a fan of Derek Jeter, being from the Bronx. He's got to charge that ball and to make a stronger throw. He kind of nonchalanted that ball and let it travel to him. And, again, the ball slows down a little bit because of that grass for sure. But he probably didn't realize that Fiesel was running, and he's pretty quick down the line.
I mean, either way, you mentioned how this infield grass kind of slows up baseballs. I don't care if it's Fiesel running or if it's a guy like Hranick running. You got to be able to charge the ball, and just in case you do bobble it or something, eschews from you making the play like you want to, guys like Fiesel are going to make that play to first base every time before the ball gets there if you don't come in and charge that baseball. It's just bound to happen with a guy with speed like Fiesel.
Yeah, it has to be an out there, but if you look at Mercado, he's playing very deep. I don't know, almost on the outfield grass.
And another guy with speed, Kitson, standing in here. He's had a really hot night. He's got the three hits, 2 singles, a home run, and a walk to his credit. Looks at the 1-1 offer. It looked to be a changeup from Toriano Fuscardo that missed the zone, but 2 outs on the board. Mammoths out in front of this one by a score of 9-4. Beavers got 2 runs in the first 2 innings, and then the Mammoths put up 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Kitson looks at ball 3 now, the count 3-1, and then in the top of the 5th, the Beavers tack on another. They tack on 1 more in the 6th to make it a 5-4 game. And then the Mammoths, like we mentioned, with the 4 spot on the 4 hits in the inning. Had a walk in between the 4 hits, and Drew Kitson on the 3-1 looks at ball 4. So how about that night for Drew Kitson? 2 walks, 2 singles, and the home run. We didn't get time to have our pick to stick here tonight, but if either of us had picked Kitson, you better believe that would have been the winner.
It would be a great pick if you did. I mean, coming in 150, I don't know if you would have taken him. I definitely would not have. All respect for him, but, you see that 150, you shy away. But they can't get him out tonight. You wonder if that play that should be made by Mercado could cost the Beavers here.
Yeah, already trailing by 5 runs. Mammoths trying to add on to this lead, and, yeah, it would be tough on Mercado as Cuddy looks at a called strike on the outside part of the plate, but you're absolutely right. Could snowball into a longer inning here for the Mammoths as Cuddy looking for his 2nd hit of the evening. He singled back in the 4th inning. Breaking ball.
Good
fouled
slider.
off. Yep, a perfect pitch there from the left-hander Fuscardo. Cuddy realized that it was over the heart of the plate, but realized it just a little too late. Fouls it off. Stays down in the count here, 0-2.
A lot of people in that hill.
Yeah,
Still.
it's a good viewing spot for the fireworks after the game. Fans sticking around for that. This ball in the dirt almost got away from Hunter Wood, but he does a great job to keep that one in front of him as he sprawls out to his left. Fiesel was thinking about taking third base, but a better job there from Wood to keep the runners where they are. Mentioned it's the Xfinity Fireworks Show here tonight. Tomorrow it'll be the Westside Woolly Mammoths continuing their hot streak against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who also went 3-0 last weekend. So it'll be a fun matchup tomorrow. Two very hot teams trying to continue it. It'll be WCSX Classic Rock Saturday. The Bob Seger Tribute Band will be in attendance. And then Sunday, it'll be a rematch of yesterday's action. It'll be the Unicorns and Beavers as a part of Sunday Fun Day. And no fun for Brandon Cuddy on that 2-2 pitch. He strikes out looking for the third and final out. Mammoths threaten but do not score in the home half of the seventh. We head to the eighth. They're out in front, 9-4. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the eighth inning we go. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz here for you on the broadcast. 9-4 Woolly Mammoths as we head to the final two frames. Jack Finnegan back out there for his second inning of work. He retired the first three batters of this Birmingham Bloomfield lineup with ease. A ground out, a strikeout, and a ground out retire the first three hitters. And right on cue, there's the third ground out. Finnegan throws out of the four batters that he's faced. The 6-3 putout starts the eighth, just like we did the seventh.
Yeah, tough night for Hessel there. 0 for 4 now after that ground out. But we just had the shake it off dance. But I heard instead of the YMCA or instead of the Cotton Eye Joe, they're doing the Sweet Caroline. Little taste of Fenway Park in Utica.
Of course.
Anyway, so he's got a.
Anyway, you can bring that in.
Yeah.
Good old Sweet Caroline.
Oh yeah.
We'll be playing here shortly, but loving what we're seeing here from Brandon Finnegan. Helsel, like you mentioned, the rough night, but you do take the bright spots when you can. He had 3 strikeouts coming into that last at-bat. At least he makes contact, puts the ball in play, forces the defense to do something with it. So baby steps for Helsel here tonight.
Yeah, never want to go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
No.
It's a bad night at the office.
That is a fact and a half there, Mr. Katz. Meanwhile, a bad battle for Finnegan. He's got 3 balls thrown to Gauthier to begin this at-bat, and it looks like the at-bat will continue. Fastball right down Broadway. Good enough for a called strike. Infield, outfield at normal depth. Fans eagerly waiting the fireworks show that will follow the ending of this one. 3-1 pitch fouled off, and just like that, Finnegan has worked his way back into the count, and be really impressive if he can retire Gauthier here.
Yeah, the Beavers haven't got a lot of hits the past few innings, so the last thing I want to do is walk, guys.
And unfortunately, there's the walk right there. Gauthier walks for the third consecutive time. How about that, Jared? A pop out to first base back in the first inning that ended it. But since then, 3 walks and a run scored to Gauthier's credit. Good job from the catcher turned DH here today. He was 3 of 5 against these Mammoths coming into play today with an RBI, a run scored, 3 singles and a walk. But a really nice job here tonight to get on base and force these Mammoths to work with base runners on.
Yeah, maybe the Mammoths see something in the scouting report to work away from him, because last game you mentioned he went 3 for 5. So maybe their plan is to let Mercado beat them. You know, he's batting .226, while Gauthier is hitting the Mammoths pretty well. So that could play in part of it, but unusual to walk three straight times.
A good eye at the plate. You wonder if he can get into scoring position with his feet. He's definitely not the fastest guy. Closer to the end of that line is Gauthier, so be shocked to see him go anywhere. But Mercado, meanwhile, sort of the same scenario as Gauthier. Both of those guys getting retired in their first plate appearance, but since then yet to be retired. Talked about how Gauthier's had the 3 walks, and Mercado has had a walk and a single since his first plate appearance. So he's trying to get on base for the 3rd consecutive time, but fouls off the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. Bring the count to 1-2. Finnegan, the right-hander out of Houston, Texas, in his 3rd game with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Every single outing so far has been 2 innings. But Finnegan trying to have his first outing without a run given up. And he's looking like he's in line for it, but still has to get through Mercado and Wood, maybe Batley, as this count has gone even at 2-2.
Yeah, if it goes 3-2, look for Gauthier to might take off for the head and run. Last time Barbie made a pretty poor throw right in the dirt that we could have stole second base on, which is saying a lot. So
it's a good point right there. Mercado on the 2-2, checks his swing but goes around. He is retired for the strikeout. He was wondering why he couldn't run to first base, but of course because there was a runner at first ahead of him, so he could not technically advance. The ball did get away from the catcher, Jake Barbie. Gauthier gets into scoring position because of it, but via the chase, Mercado is retired.
Finnegan fortunate that Mercado swung there. That was ball 4, but maybe good deception by Finnegan. But if you're Mercado, you don't want to swing at that ball in the dirt. And it was the right call by the umpire. A guy at first base, you can't go in a drop 3rd strike.
So now Hunter Wood stands in. Had the home run back in the 2nd inning. Hits a high fly ball that'll go foul and out of play. Since his home run, a couple of ground balls to the second baseman, Jalen Lawson. Grounded out into the 4th, 3 put out in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. But if you're Finnegan here, you want to get out of this frame without any damage done. With 2 outs, the runner at second base. This one in the dirt. Wood holds off on it, evens the count up at 1-1.
Yeah, for Finnegan, you don't want to give the Beavers any hope for the 9th inning. Don't let them get within 4 runs, because then, you know, 1 hit, 1 grand slam, and tie game. So you got to keep them from getting within 4. Because then a grand slam doesn't beat you right now, but if you let them score, it will.
Wood with a line drive. Will it fall down for a base hit? No, it will not. Right into the glove of a running right fielder, Mr. Ethan Whisker. The Beavers get a base on balls, but nothing else here in this top of the 8th. We head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the USPBL YouTube channel. Rich Borland alongside Jared Katz here with you for tonight's broadcast. We're just about all wrapped up. We got about another inning worth of baseball here. Toriano Fuscardo's night is done on the hill for the Beavers. He goes 2 innings, allows 4 earned runs on 5 hits, gives up 2 walks, did have 3 strikeouts, but he now gives way to Brandon Mattern, who's out here in a back-to-back day appearance. Pitched yesterday and had the best outing of his entire season. Coming into play last night, he had a 24.9 ERA. He had the 1 outing last night against the Unicorns. Goes an inning and 2/3. Get this, no earned runs, no hits, no walks. Against the 6 batters he faced, his ERA goes down to just under 17, but as bad as that number might look, worlds apart from where he was the day before. So a nice improvement for Mattern, the left-hander, trying to have back-to-back outings. As this one gets right near the dugout. Is it caught? The first baseman check. Hranic right at the dugout opening. Comes up with the catch, and who knows, ladies and gentlemen, could have back-to-back nights with a play on SportsCenter. You never know. That's the 1-800-Hanson's Get It Done play of the game. Nice job there from Mr. Hranic.
Yeah, we mentioned a lot of foul territory here. Perfect example. Caught it right at the dugout steps. You don't see that every day. So, but back to Mattern. He, I don't know about you, Rich, but he looks like a carbon copy of Andrew Miller. Like, it's identical almost from here. The same windup, the same mannerisms. It's crazy, honestly.
The only thing I want to try and figure out is who's taller. Do you know how tall Andrew Miller is?
6'8", 6'9", or 6'10", I think.
Okay, so
I know Betances is 6'8".
we might have to figure that out as we go here, because Mattern is listed as 6'9", 250 pounds. And with the Cleveland Indians roster, you never know. I mean, these guys, they've been in the playoffs in the last couple of years, but they are kind of like the Tigers of old. They get there a couple different times, but cannot end up sealing the deal at the end of the season. And as we look up Andrew Miller, 6'7", 209. So okay. Mattern's got about 2 inches and about 40 pounds on Miller. As this ball is hit into the gap, can Batley do it? He can. Back-to-back plays from the Beavers, worthy of top 10 plays. Nice job from Batley to retire Mr. Tyler Pagano for the second out.
Great defense here by the Beavers. Another great catch by Batley. We could have back-to-back ESPN plays in 1 inning, but I think Mattern, he might have to buy those guys some dinner tonight after the game.
Yeah, you'll take that if you're Mattern. 2 outs in the toughest of fashions. You got the first baseman lounging over to make the catch in the dugout, and then Batley there with the diving snag in center field. A couple of really nice plays from these Beavers. And you'll take your bright spots. I mean, McKenzie, who we talked about after his first start, we were thinking he was going to be one of the best arms in this league, but since then, he's gone 0-2. I mean, if the game finishes here, of course, he'll be 0-2 on the season. As Lawson hits a hard ground ball to the left side of the infield where Mercado actually throws the ball offline, but a nice job from Hranic at first base to retire Lawson with the tag. We've played 8 innings. We head to the 9th. Beavers with their last chance at the plate. They'll need 5 runs to get back in this one. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Jared Katz here with you. To the ninth we go. It'll be James Batley, Daniel Oliveri, and then Ryan Smith due up for these Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in their final opportunity of the night. They'll need to get 5 runs here if they have any intentions of continuing this baseball game.
Seen crazy things.
Yes, that we have. You are no doubt about that. I mean, me being a Detroit Tigers fan, the 9th inning is a whole different game compared to the first 8, at least in my entire lifetime. But out there on the bump, not in a save opportunity, but out there trying to close the door in the 9th is Josh Mollett. He gets Batley on the 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball that Batley cannot hold back on. And Mollett on the season in his 4th relief appearance. No saves to his credit yet. Like we mentioned, not a save situation here, but trying to end this ball game. He's got 3 separate 1-inning outings. He's allowed just 2 hits in the 3 innings. No walks, 2 strikeouts, the 0.00 ERA. And Mollett, one of those guys that he throws strikes, he throws hard. He doesn't let much come back at him. He is a great guy to have at the back end of a bullpen. And look at that. Oliveri on the first pitch, or excuse me, the second pitch of the at-bat, breaks it. So he'll need a new piece of lumber.
But yeah, that's a broadcaster's dream there, throw strikes. But you set me up for this one, you know, Tigers bullpen. Got to always bring it up every time I'm on the air with you, man. But Joaquin Benoit, David Ortiz, it comes up every time. There's always something. So, but yeah, the Tigers bullpen, it's always a mystery there. Especially the 9th inning.
It'll continue. Seems to be a curse, but
yeah.
Mollett on the 1-0 misses the zone. Now the count here 2-0.
But at least you don't have to worry about Ortiz anymore, right?
Right, just a whole new lineup of destruction to worry about now.
Next week, 3-game set in Boston,
Okay.
Should be a good one.
It'd be nice if we could make a trip, but probably a little busy over here at Jimmy John's Field. But perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Got still a load of action coming up in the next 2 days. Meanwhile, Oliveri with the ground ball to the right side, a little bit of PFP action. Pitcher fielding practices happening right over there. Nice job from both Brandon Cuddy as well as Mollett to get the 3-1 putout recorded in the books. And now the Beavers are down to their final out.
Yeah, something Allen Iverson would not appreciate, practice there. That practice goes a long way, you know. Do those countless hours of drills, you know, pitcher recovering first, but comes in handy there.
Breaking ball tries to enter the front door of Ryan Smith's home, but home plate umpire Mr. Stewart Hall says that it's a ball. Mollett continuing to work, though. He's been about as efficient as possible. The strikeout to Batley, the ground out to Oliveri, and now Smith following off the last pitch, even in the count here at 1-1. But the right-hander out of Tampa, Florida, he's looking to be a household name in this back end of this Westside Woolly Mammoth bullpen. The 1-1 pitch to Smith. There's the breaking ball on the outside half. Looked good, but must have just tailed out at the last second.
Yeah, you said Tampa native. He very efficient. Looks like he's wants to go home and watch the Rays-Mariners game tonight at 10 o'clock. Could get home just in time, starting in about 10 minutes. I don't know how many Rays fans are out there. Not many. But got some down there, I guess. More Lightning fans for sure, but they got some fans down there.
Smith on the 3-1. Takes a big cut, but Mollett with the fireballer in there brings the count full. And just like that, the Beavers are down to their final strike.
Look for the fastball here. He's been throwing it all inning.
Mollett could end this game, but he'll have to wait another second. Didn't agree with his catcher on the call, and he steps off, readjusts, and he'll get a new sign from Jake Barbie. The pitch, one hopper, two hopper, out to Jalen Lawson. He holds on and retires the batter for the third and final out. Down goes Smith, and down go the Beavers. They were out in front of this one early, but the Mammoths, with a barrage of hits in the middle innings, end up giving them the victory. Chris Newell's Beavers on the season dropped to 4-6. The Mammoths with their 5th straight win of the season. They'll be playing here again tomorrow against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. It'll be an Eastside versus Westside matchup, but in the end, starting pitching matchup proved pivotal. Josh Mason goes 6 innings. He did allow the 4 earned runs to the Beavers, but after he came out, there was nothing else that the Beavers could do against the bullpen. The combination of Finnegan and Mollett closed the door. Mason moves to 3-0 on the season, and then on the other end for the Beavers, McKenzie in the losing effort goes 5 innings, allows 3 earned runs, 5 total runs on 9 hits, gives up 1 walk and had 3 strikeouts. Fuscardo goes 2 innings, allows 4 runs on 5 hits, and then Brandon Mattern did a fairly nice job at the back end, but like we mentioned, the Mammoths too far out in front, and they end up taking this one by a final of 9-4. Jared, any final thoughts here on this one?
Woolly Mammoths hitting the ball, I think 16 hits or 17, but if they get contributions like that from Drew Kitson, and they'll be a dangerous team. It's going to be a tough night tomorrow for the Hoppers. You know, they haven't played in a couple days, and Mammoths are on a roll, 5 in a row, as you mentioned, and this train is not stopping. It doesn't look like it. But
Yeah.
if they get the pitching they got tonight and hitting from those guys who are batting under the Mendoza line, could be a dangerous couple months for the other teams in this league.
Kitson on the night finishes perfectly. He had 2 singles, 2 walks, and a home run to his credit. Down there on the field, talking with Matt Derry on the field, our in-game host and ESPN3 analyst. But this one was a fun one. We mentioned still waiting for the fireworks to go off and kids to run the bases. But once again, it'll be the Westside Woolly Mammoths looking for their 6th straight victory in tomorrow's action. First pitch against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers right at 7:05. It'll be WCSX Classic Rock Saturdays and the Bob Seger Tribute Band. My good friend Dan Dobler will be on the call with me in his first action of the season here in 2018. Excited to have him back on the mic with me. But for Jared Katz, my name's Rich Borland. Mammoths win this one over the Beavers by a final of 9-4. You stay classy, Utica.